Is that your sister?
Here, B.
Oh, that's your
Stand up.
That's your girlfriend?
I thought that was Ellen.
Oh, again.
All right, Matthew, I get it. You're tall as that.
No, he isn't.
For the first time.
I want to. We're still on top.
Sir, kick him out.
Like saying very offensive.
He hasn't done anything.
Sitting up here the whole time y'all been talking, so you can go either way. You need to sit down, enjoy the game, or go home.
Yeah, Braylon.
Hey, talking to everybody.
Look, Ryan. You're never going to find a date.
Yeah, Lucas has the most targets I've ever seen when I was at. Like, Lucas wants to be for Alabama. Stop talking.
Hey, try not to get the seats when someone you know. Hey, behind me.
Bro, I was trying to come over here, okay? I'm not like that. I'm a regular person. Alright, I'm built different. But I'm on that ass. I gotta stay there.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your 2023 Ladies and gentlemen, please rise, and gentlemen, please remove your caps for tonight's invocation. As we honor America, tonight's invocation is given by DHS Senior Student Council Member and Cheerleader Taylor Mendieta.
Okay, we're good. I hear you.
Yeah, I hear both, yes.
Very loud in my ear, though.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Testing 1, 2, 3. That's a little bit better. Go down tiny bit, just tiny bit. Talk for a minute.
Check 1, 2, check 1, 2.
Go down just a tiny bit, You're going up. You're going up.
Check 1, 2, check 1, 2.
A little bit louder. Tiny.
Cheerleaders, and Dusties. Finally, please keep the Tigers safe as they travel home after the game. Amen.
Testing 1, 2, 3, 4. Mic testing 1, 2, 3, 4.
Check 1, 2.
2, 2, 2, 2.
Followed by the DHS alma mater. Presenting the colors tonight, Colonel Adia Dunn, Senior Master Sergeant Ramaya Walker, Technical Sergeant Austin Thomas Devon, Airman Basic Ian Kelly, and Airman Basic Paige Massagale.
Live from Wildcat Stadium on the campus of Destrehan High School, Crescent City Sports is proud to bring you Louisiana high school football. Tonight it's a huge District 7 5A matchup as the Destrehan Wildcats play host to the Terrebonne Tigers. Hello everybody, Ken Berthelot along with Wade Kaiser. And Wade, we're in for a good one tonight. Two undefeated teams in conference. Terrebonne rebounding from last year, and second-year coach Tyler Lewis has this team off to a terrific start at 5-1.
Yeah, they're 5-1, 2-0 in district, as well as Destrehan 6-0, 3-0 in district. A lot's going to be settled in the next couple of weeks here in District 7 5A on who's going to come out on top, because East St. John is also in that mix. They're 6-0, 3-0, and Terrebonne goes to East St. John, if I'm not mistaken, next week for that big showdown. So, but first, both teams are going to have to settle something here tonight. Somebody's going to walk out with a loss here tonight, and it's going to be a great football game, especially between two teams that are really fashioned and set up because they have both great defenses.
Now the Terrebonne Tigers, as we said, 5-1. They lost their opener to JFK 20-7 in a mistaken-thrown game by them with turnovers and penalties, but bounced back to beat Lakeshore, HL Bourgeois, Central Lafourche, and Ellender. And then you come back for the Destrehan Wildcats. They were undefeated last year, winning the state championship, beating Ruston, enjoying a 14-0 year. They're on a number of streaks we'll tell you about a little bit later on, and they have just rolled over Bonneville, John Ehret, East Ascension, Hill, HL Bourgeois, and Central Lafourche coming into this Terrebonne game. So a 6-0 Destrehan Wildcat team is set to play a 5-1 Terrebonne Tiger team that has just responded to what Coach Tyler Lewis likes to say, I want to do things the Terrebonne perfect way. In other words, do things right, the right way in his system.
Well, and when you want to do things the perfect way, you got to be in the right place at the right time doing what you're supposed to be doing when you're there, right? And that's defensively, that's tackling. They have done a great job all year with that because they're only giving up 11 points a game. 11.5 points a game. So when you're only giving up 11.5 points a game, you've got to be doing something really good defensively, meaning you're getting to the right place at the right time. Offensively, they've done a nice job. They've put up some really great numbers this year. You know, for example, they put up 62 on HL Bourgeois. They put up 42 on a pretty good South Terrebonne team. They put 40 up on a real good Lakeshore team. These guys have been scoring some points.
And 45 on Central Lafourche.
Right, 45 on Central Lafourche.
Last week and beating Ellender. So
there you go. So these guys are putting up great numbers. They're putting up great defensive numbers. That's the reason why this is going to be a huge showdown for District 7 5A here tonight in Destrehan.
On the other side of that coin, another team putting up numbers is the Destrehan Wildcats. Look, they started off a little slowly in their first two against Bonneville and Ehret and needed good second-half efforts to come back and win. And East Ascension also a little bit closer, but they put up 48 against Bonneville, 24-7 victory over Ehret. East Ascension was a 21-7 victory, and Shane Lee took over in the second half of that game to make it happen. But after that, it's rolling over Hanville, Bourgeois, and Central Lafourche, 47, 49, and 51 points respectively. So we're going to see something very special tonight. And also, Wade, we're going to look at two of the absolute premier players here in the fact that Terrebonne wide receiver Kylan Billiot, an LSU commit, and Destrehan edge rusher Collage Cobbins, also an LSU commit, are two of the top 10 seniors in Louisiana's top 300 recruits nationally, and there's something to watch.
Well, we saw Collage Cobbins a couple weeks ago when you and I both had the chance to do the East Ascension game, and I tell you, he was everywhere. He's their tackle leader with 37 tackles on the season and 5 sacks. He gets to the ball, right? He's a kid that you're going to have to be able to game plan for, especially with your pass protections and your run schemes to make sure you have him accounted for. Now, when he gets to Billiot is one of these guys that is a great athlete, right? I understand he's also an outstanding basketball player. He's a punter. He's a wide receiver. I think he's on the baseball team, so he's one of these all-around athletes that LSU, I think, would definitely want on their football roster.
Shoot, as a basketball player, he averaged 14 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, and 3 steals a game. So you talk about an all-around player. He's got quick hands. He's just a fun player to watch, and you're going to get to see him tonight right here on Crescent City Sports. And that's what's going to make this game so much fun. So we've got a fun one on Thursday night. We are glad you are with us, and hope you enjoyed this one as much as we will, because Wade and I have been talking about this one, looking forward to this one since we found out we were doing this game earlier in the week. So a lot of fun here.
Well, there's a lot of excitement. You're going to see a lot of guys flying around, having fun playing the game tonight, and great weather here in South Louisiana with a little front coming through yesterday, and we'll have a little bit of breeze out there tonight, and it's going to be a nice night for football.
Terrebonne will kick off first, and it'll be the offense for the powerful Destrehan Wildcats on the field first, is what I should say on that. And can't wait to see these players tonight, because either we're going to have a great defensive struggle or we'll be changing bulbs on the scoreboard at halftime, one of the two, because they're either going to light it up or it's going to be a defensive struggle. And both of these teams have real good defensive players that can make a big difference. So getting set to kick it off for the Terrebonne Tigers, Ryan Abadi. And back deep is Johnson and English. It's coming down to Wilfred, rather. And Wilfred with a short return past the 30 up to the 33-yard line, and that's where the Destrehan Wildcats will start. At their own 33-yard line. First and 10, so we get to see Jackson Fields, a sophomore who plays more like a 3-year starter and a senior, but he's not. He's only a sophomore, 6'0", 190, good height, good numbers, thrown for 1,243 yards, 12 touchdowns, and has only been picked off twice. But Shane Lee behind him is the back, number 4. If you're watching, he'll get the ball off, and then this time out of the backfield on first down, Shane Lee with a big gain. Shane Lee almost breaks it, stripped up past the 45-yard line, up to the 48-yard line, and a real big gain of 15 right off the bat.
Oh, they dropped the screen. Reason why they dropped the screen, they catch Terrebonne in zero coverage or man coverage. Nobody's covering the back in the screen. They blocked the linebacker that was assigned to him, and he's off to the races, and Destrehan gets a nice first down on the first play of the game.
Now this time, Destrehan will try the middle, and they will get right across midfield and over to the Terrebonne side of the 50 at the 49-yard line.
Ken, let me say this. Those guys in white jerseys right there are huge, right? Tyderick Stewart, 245. Talon Bingham, 320. Jaquez Lawson, 265. Julian Coleman, 355. And they fill out those white jerseys.
This time the fake to Lee. Throw over the middle. Great catch. Great catch, and running out of bounds inside the 35-yard line is Johnny Thiel, who had a breakout game recently against H.L. Bourgeois, I believe, with 3 touchdowns and just a super game. And, man, he showed right there why he's got good hands.
Terrebonne gets into a 3-deep zone coverage right there. Thiel comes from all the way across the field on a drag route. Ball's put right on the right spot. Great catch by Thiel.
First and 10 of the 34 this time. It's Philip Wright. And Philip Wright, with flags down, gets inside the 30, but let's hold up and see what this one's all about. Seeing a little mix and match a little bit. Last time we were here and saw him against East Ascension. We just saw a running game. We saw Shane Lee pound it out, but, man, Jackson Fields is just lighting it up right here on this first drive of the game.
Well, they're going to back that play up. Here's a good replay. They're going to get a hold out here on the boundary. Let's see if we can see it. I think right there they get Johnny Thiel with a hold. He gets his hand out on the outside of the jersey of the Terrebonne defenseman, and they're going to throw that out on the edge every time. When you're going to hold, you want to do it when you're in a crowd, not when you're right out in front of the lines judge, right?
Back it up to the 43, second down and 20. Lots of time to throw, and he'll take the short pass right out of the backfield again, hitting Shane Lee. Lee will break it. Lee will go into the end zone. Touchdown, but hold everything. Flag is down again. So let's see if that stands. If it stands, it's a 43-yard touchdown catch and run by Shane Lee. But this one looks like it's coming back.
Well, we've got a block in the back here right after the catch by Shane Lee. You can see him dragging right across the formation. Nobody runs with him. Everything's ran off. And here comes your block in the back right there at about the 27-yard line. Again, it looks like they got Johnny Thiel with the block in the back. So Johnny Thiel, great catch, but 2 15-yard penalties, right? For a total of 30. And they're going to back up the offense, and I'm sure he's going to get schooled on film tomorrow.
Oh, you're not kidding. That takes 6 off the board. And for the great catch Johnny Thiel had made, you are absolutely correct. That one comes back and sets Destrehan back on their own side, the 50 now, with the ball at the Destrehan 46. They were all the way down to the Terrebonne 43.
Well, it's first in an Uber ride, right? What are you going to call on your play sheet? So, I mean, that's the deal here.
I'd call a travel agency and see what's up in Orlando. Maybe Disney's available. Like first and 31. Here's the toss over the middle. He's got a man, and he overthrows Philip Wright. Philip Wright was open and just sailed that ball a little bit over his head.
Nicely done. I love the scheme. They run the vertical route with Wright. You can see Wright running down the center of the field right there. Splits the safeties. The ball just floated. Oh, my goodness. If he would have caught that, he'd have been on target. He'd have walked into the end zone, and we've got another penalty.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, my. Let's see what this one is.
Looks like we had another holding penalty.
Wow, so this one is now going to put this one back to the 36-yard line. Screen pass right. And just tried to make something happen as Johnny Thiel, and he does make a little bit and gets it back close to midfield. And they will mark this one at the Destrehan 48-yard line.
Well, when you have this much to make up and it's first down, you want to take it in chunks, right? So you're going to try to get a quarter of it back, then you try to get another quarter of it back, and try to leave yourself with a quarter at the end to be able to make a decision on whether or not you want to kick a field goal or go for it.
Yeah, the first down marker is at the 24-yard line. Destrehan's at their own 48. And nowhere to go that time for Jackson Fields, and he is dropped back at the line of scrimmage, the 48-yard line.
And he's brought down by big Terrence Allen. When I say big, listen to how big. 6'4", 378 pounds. Ouch, you do not want that to fall on you. Look at big Terrence right there pulling down Jackson Fields right there, and Jackson better make sure that he doesn't fall on top of him.
Now that makes it 3rd and 29. They're at the Destrehan's at their own 48-yard line. First down marker at the Terrebonne 23, actually, but 23 and a half. And this time Fields in trouble. He'll dump it off quickly underneath. He's got Smothers. McClellan Smothers is fighting his way down to the 35-yard line and tackled way short of the first down. 4 big penalties in a row. Wow, my goodness.
Well, that hurts, right? I mean, you just can't take a score off the board, and you can't take big chunk plays, big explosion plays, big plays that you have worked on all week to try to get those huge explosions and negate them with penalties. Here we go, 4th down and still a long for the Wildcats.
Yeah, it's about a good 13. 4th and 13. They're going to go for it. Maybe try to get a little break, and with a long count. Oh, low snap, picked up well by Fields. Here comes a rush. He'll float one long, overthrows everybody. He was going for the big gun. He's trying to hit Greg Wilford. And the rush came, and he had to unload a little early and threw it way over his head and incomplete.
Great job by the protection here by the Wildcats. He has a lot of time to set his feet in there and throw this ball deep, just a little bit over the head of the intended receiver, Wilfred. Terrebonne get a great look now at their offense and their outstanding running back, Jace Johnson.
And as we talked about, the wide receiver, Kylan Billiot, and everybody wants to see that young man. An LSU commit, made his commitment at a 7-on-7 camp. He's number 1. Easy to pick. Well, it might be a little more difficult for you to pick out. We'll have a Terrebonne says we can do that too. Hold on.
Right, Terrebonne's going to start off with an illegal procedure penalty. Not the right way to start on first down.
You know, Coach Tyler Lewis was frustrated with penalties, especially in the opening loss. Thought the penalties and just a few mistakes cost him that game. Moves the ball back to the 31. For Terrebonne, first down and 15 at their own 31. Quarterback, Owen Oliver, a sophomore. 2 sophomore quarterbacks today, both with playing time last year. And Terrebonne just tried to get some of the penalty yardage back, and they won't get much, maybe 1.
Yeah, stopped by Gideon Bowman, 16 tackles on the year. He's the sack leader of this Wildcat defensive unit with 6. 6'2", 222-pound senior.
Second down, 13. Quick little screen out to the near side, and that is complete to Jace Johnson. And that's the running back that Wade was telling you about.
Look, he's solid now. He can catch the ball out of the backfield like they lined him up in an empty formation right there. He's got a nice set of hands to pick up a nice pickup for the Tigers. But he also has 549 yards on 48 carries this season. So he's a solid guy back there. And then you add him in with Billiot and Oliver doing a nice job. This is a formidable offense in 7-5A.
A lot of room if he wants to run. The hole closed quickly. Would run a nice cut to the outside, and he's pulled down from behind on, well, I was going to say maybe a first down saving tackle, but I think he's got the first down. And I believe coming in to make the tackle was J.T. White. Let's check. Or was it Arrington Adams?
Yeah, Arrington Adams is the guy that grabs him by the ankles right there at the end as he was accelerating out of there. Arrington Adams had a great game 3 weeks ago when we called here, Ken, against East Ascension. He was everywhere.
Well, they got the first down at the 46, and they're going to keep it on the ground this time, and it's going to be Kylan Billiot coming around from his wide receiver spot to take it. And he makes good yardage, so Billiot can run, he can catch, he can do just about everything, which is why he was one of the top 10 players in the Louisiana Top 300.
Well, when you got guys like that, you want to invent ways to put the ball in their hands, right? They're your athletes. So you hand it off to them on jet sweeps, you give it to them in screens. Somehow, some way, you want to get the ball into your playmakers' hands, and that's exactly what the Tigers did right there.
Showing some blitz here. And, man, the blitz worked because the Destrehan Wildcats stopped up the hole quickly. Nowhere to go for the Terrebonne Tigers.
Well, that's the first hit of the night by Kalaj Cobbins. Watch Kalaj Cobbins right here come down off of the edge and make a nice play in the backfield.
Oliver, who was a punter in his freshman year and got some playing time at quarterback. The lefty rolls, throws, and that's complete for a first down as he hits Billiot.
Well, he is a left.
You got to shut down Billiot. If you don't shut down Billiot, Terrebonne's going to have a great day.
Well, you know, here's the thing with everybody said a lefty quarterback, right? There's not much difference.
Penalty on a play. That is going to. They marked him out a little bit short of the first down, but this is going to move it back, and instead of 3rd and 2, he had stepped out of bounds right in front of the Destrehan bench.
Well, you know.
Wow, that's a big one, but it moves it all the way back behind the original line of scrimmage and makes it now 3rd down and about 13. Line of scrimmage is the 43 of the Tigers of Terrebonne. The snap, a quick little throw out of backfield. Kaboom! Just a boom lowered on the Terrebonne receiver who caught that, which was Jace Johnson, and he was hit hard by Coolidge Cobbins, right?
Well, Coolidge Cobbins kind of sitting right there. He has the back in man coverage. They had him tied in with the running back, and he's keying him all the way. The back kind of slips right out, and bang, Coolidge Cobbins there for the huge hit.
So it looks like Billiard is going to punt for the Tigers. And I'm not sure, did somebody maybe catch, was it deflected a little?
I think he just kind of shanked it.
He just shanked it off to the right on that one, didn't he?
Yeah, he mishit his 9-iron.
So neither Terrebonne or Destrehan could get anything going because of penalties. Oh, those penalties early in this game on the first drive for both teams. So Destrehan takes over with 4 minutes and 25 seconds to play in the first quarter, their second offensive possession of the game. Starting at their own 39-yard line. And they're just going straight ahead. Nowhere. Terrebonne's done a good job of clogging up that middle.
Well, when you're running power against guys that are that big, and you know, Destrehan's not the largest offensive line in the world, right? And Terrebonne is one big defensive line. You can have to try to get some movement, and that's kind of hard, and the power right there didn't get the movement that was wanted by Destrehan.
Flag thrown before they even get this play off. So here we go, a legal procedure penalty against the Wildcats. And I'm going to tell you what, Coach Marcus Scott got his 100th victory last week in that big win for Destrehan over Central Lafourche. Has got to be thinking there's got to be a better way to celebrate it than this. This has just been a penalty-plagued opening quarter for both teams, but especially for Destrehan. He's going to chuck it along down the left side. Got a man. He's got it! And he may go. He will go all the way for a touchdown. And there is that dynamic, explosive Jabari Mack on the perfect throw over the shoulder by Jackson Fields for the touchdown.
Jabari Mack just gets on top of the defender right there. Defender gets his cushion broken, never gets his hips turned around. That looked like, I couldn't get the number of the Terrebonne defender. Those yellow numbers are really hard to tell. But the Terrebonne defender did not get his hips turned, didn't flip him all the way around. I think that was Jonathan Smith, their right corner. Had he gotten his hips around, he'd been able to run easier with the receiver. Receiver gets on top for the touchdown, and the huge score, first score of the game for Destrehan.
And Ron Lacey kicks the extra point through, and it's 7-0. Doesn't take them long to do it, even though they got the illegal procedure penalty. Guess what? A one-play drive, and it's a touchdown on the big bomb. What a play.
Again, it started first with the protection. Everything done nicely up front, and everything was clean by the Destrehan offensive line. We didn't see any yellow handkerchiefs out on the ground during that play, which is the reason why I'm saying clean, right? We've seen a few holding penalties and blocks in the back. So when you get clean blocking up front, you get clean protection, you're going to be able to connect with your receivers, especially if they have that type of explosive speed.
Seven nothing. That's the explosiveness of this football team. And again, you've got, we're talking about Jackson Fields and Shane Lee and Philip Wright and Johnny Field. Jabari Mack has been very quiet in this game. And there you go. His 13th catch. That puts him over the 300-yard mark, his third touchdown of the season. And that might be a long for him. We'll check. The Wildcats may be feeling it just a little bit. They'll kick off to the Tigers. And a good toss. Out of bounds. The return by Alvin Celestine. So Terrebonne starts at their own 7-yard line. Oliver at quarterback. Hands off. Slanting off the left side with a little bit of running room. Coming hard is Johnson. Jace Johnson. Picking up a first down on his first carry of this drive.
Executed well. Look at the power. Here comes the kick out block, and there's the wraparound. On the counter. Great job right there. Jace Johnson lets it get set up for him, and then he explodes through the hole. They got a nice block on the linebacker, which allowed him to pop through into the secondary. Nice job up front by that Terrebonne offensive line.
24-yard gain for Jace Johnson. And when Oliver, a little lefty, will lob one, and a nice catch and run out of bounds that time by Billiot. Boy, they make it look easy sometimes, and you can see this Terrebonne team is explosive.
Well, Billiot runs a nice route. He gets off the press coverage, right? Look how he stacks the defender and then runs away. I can see why LSU likes him. He uses a nice setup.
Oh, flag. This one's coming back.
He uses a nice setup to be able to get himself free and vertical on top of the defender, but it's all for naught because it's coming back with a flag. Looks like it's a holding penalty.
Wow. Well, this is going to move it back to the 21-yard line. And both teams have really hurt themselves with penalties, but both teams have also come back with good explosive offensive plays to make up for it. This is the second offensive possession for the Terrebonne Tigers, and they got most of the penalty yardage back. So now it'll be second and a little bit less than 10. Second and about 8.
They hit Alvin Celestine right in the hook zone in between the linebackers. He sits down, gives them his numbers, catch Destrehan in a zone defense. Ball's delivered nicely on time. I like Oliver. Oliver's got a nice arm, and he's a left-hander, and the ball comes at you a little bit different when you're a left-hander rather than a right-handed thrower.
But again, he played a little bit last year, even though he did some punting. There's a pick six. Destrehan. Touchdown. My goodness. Collage Cobbins. Who else would you expect in a situation like this? The LSU commit shows why the Tigers are excited about this young man.
Well, Collage Cobbins is walked off in coverage. He reads the bubble screen or the jailbreak screen, whatever you want to call it, and he just works his way right over into the throwing lane, and Johnny on the spot puts the ball right in his hands, walks into the end zone. Another mistake by the Tigers is going to cost him 6.
33-yard pick six by Collage Cobbins, and quickly, with 1:54 to play in the first quarter, the Destrehan Wildcats, 1 offensive score, 1 defensive score, and if Lacey drills this one, they've got a 14-0 lead, and they do. So Ryan Lacey with the point after, 14-0, Destrehan leads Terrebonne.
Well, that's the mark of a real good football team when you can score all the way around, right? You can score with your special teams on kicking. You can score with your defense from a turnover, and then you can score with an explosive offense. You're hard to beat, right? Collage Cobbins read that thing perfectly. He has a nice football instinct, right? And he steps right into the path of the screen, saw the screen was being set up, and then picks off Oliver for 6 points. You can definitely see what LSU likes in Cobbins, right? He's got great football instincts. He can run. He's athletic. Loves the contact. It's always around contact. You can play him in coverage. You can rush him off the edge. He can play well and stand up against the run. He's going to be a good football player down the line for the Tigers in Baton Rouge.
And you take a look at him and some of the talent that we have on the field tonight. You can see where LSU's recruiting doing pretty good. Not that we didn't know that. But when you're looking at the players and you see them perform like this, it's very special, the instincts that they have here. And Terrebonne will return it near the 30-yard line.
Oh, Terrebonne keeps shooting themselves in the foot here. They're capable offense. They moved and did move the ball at sporadic times on Destrehan. They've got to stop shooting themselves in the foot with the penalties, and now, of course, the turnover. So let's see if they go back to getting Jace Leith the ball and mixing in, Jace Johnson the ball and mixing in Kylan Billiot with the throwing game, and see if they can't sustain some sort of drive.
That was Celestine again on the kickoff return for a little bit. Bouncing off the pile is Johnson again coming left, and he's up to the 31-yard line.
Look, he makes something out of nothing there. Let's take a look at the replay.
Yeah.
He's going to run right into pile of guys right there. What does he do? Keeps his feet moving and keeps bouncing, playing piano keys, and just bounces it right outside and picks up decent yardage.
Keep driving, and that's all you can do. The running game, we've got good running backs without question. Landon English checking in. Oliver. Snap time. He's going to throw it long and overthrows everybody and out of bounds on the other side.
Well, that's what you call a miscommunication. The receivers stop short, and Oliver throws long. Someone didn't get the message. Again, shooting yourself in the foot is going to bring up 3rd and long, right? You want to stay out of those situations if you're Terrebonne. Obviously, every offense wants to stay out of the 3rd and longs.
Oliver 5, too stocky, a lot of muscle in there. Again, both quarterbacks are sophomores. Oliver for Terrebonne, the southpaw, the lefty. He's going to just lob one out, and he's got it again. Nice move this time. And there's the first down to keep the drive going. And Jace Johnson on the reception.
Watch Jace Johnson come out of the backfield on the wheel route. Nobody there. That linebacker needs to be running with them right there. So he's going to get schooled up tomorrow. When I say schooled up, he's going to get taught by his coaches tomorrow where he needed to be. That should have been Jermaine White running with that wheel route out of the backfield.
Celestine almost got that toss. Instead, he'll go back to Johnson. Johnson inside the 35. Well, that may be Quincy McKay. Hold on. Again, these numbers are a little hard to see.
On the tackle. 2nd and 8 at the Fighting Wildcat 33.
That was Johnson.
Yeah, folks, these yellow numbers as you're seeing on your screen, and if you think they're hard to see on your screen, try seeing them through a window up here with light glaring, right? So it's not too comfortable to be able to catch these numbers from the Terrebonne Tigers. Yellow on white jerseys.
I'll tell you what a coach once told me. I won't tell you who the coach is, though. Johnson with the hole. Johnson with the move, and he can't break away, but he's got the first down, and he's right at the 16-yard line of the Destrehan Wildcats.
Watch the run here. Nice bounce back on the inside zone. He reads it nicely. He sees everything's covered up in the 2-play side A gaps. So what does he do? Keeps his eyes up and makes a nice jump cut and comes through the backside B gap and runs into the secondary.
That's going to be it for the first quarter of play. And Destrehan with a 14-0 lead after one quarter. But right now the Terrebonne Tigers driving. And as this second quarter gets underway, they are knocking on the door of the red zone right now. So it's a reminder that our first quarter was brought to you by Crescent City Sports. Or the first quarter, brought to you by the Lamarck Motor Company in Kenner. Lamarck Lincoln is the only Lincoln Black Label dealership in the market. It's more than ownership, it's membership, and there must be a reason. Ronnie says it all the time. You see him on TV, you hear him on radio, you see him on the Crescent City streams. There must be a reason, folks. And
plus he can sing. Plus he can sing, right?
And he can sing. He could sing that if he wanted to. You know, I wish you wouldn't have put that in Lamarck's head because I hear a song. I see a song coming now. Wait, Kaiser, you got it. There must be a reason.
Yeah, well,
Ronnie Lamarck.
A little plug for Ronnie Lamarck, right? Little plug for Ronnie Lamarck. He has an outstanding voice. I think it's naturally New Orleans.
Thank you, Ronnie Lamarck, for sponsoring the first quarter. Second quarter will be brought to you by Rhino Shield. And we'll give you a little bit on Rhino Shield in just a moment because the Terrebonne Tigers are ready to go. At the 16-yard line. Johnson behind the quarterback, Oliver. And a fumble. Man, it looked like they hit the arm of the quarterback as he was handed off. Johnson maybe didn't have it, and Johnson trying to control it was hit. Boom, all of a sudden the ball's on the ground.
Well, they were faking the jet sweep, and then they were trying to run the ball back inside. You'll see mishandling at the point of attack as they were trying to give Jace Johnson the ball. He just didn't get a clean handoff. I don't know if it was a good pocket. There was a little bumping in there by a Destrehan Wildcat, but ball goes on the ground. Shooting themselves in the foot again is the Terrebonne Tigers, Destrehan being the recipient of another turnover.
Well, Destrehan's got it now. Here we go. And a golden opportunity to score by Terrebonne, and they let that one get away. And Destrehan on their first play will just keep it on the ground and get it outside of their own red zone area to the 22.
Well, it's Shane Lee battling up in there. He comes with 67 carries, comes into this game for 602 yards. He's their war horse. Last year, he carried the ball for 134 times for 1,136 yards.
We have not seen him run too much. It's been an air raid type of game. It's been an air ball. They're just tossing it left and right, and they do again to Jabari Mack. And Mack's got a big gain in the first down the left side. And that's all the way up to the 36-yard line. Let's see, they mark it at the 35.
Well, when you got a defensive line that's as big as the Terrebonne Tigers, look at the size of these guys. It's hard to run that ball in between the tackles. So they're going to spread them out a little bit, and they're going to get the ball out there to their speedy receivers and try to make something happen out on the perimeter.
Take the Shane Lee, and this time Fields will just keep it himself. The quarterback now the right side will run it up to about the 38-yard line. Short gain. That'll bring up second down. Second down at about 7. Yeah, we really haven't seen a lot of Shane Lee run the ball in this game, and that's good because early in the season you were wondering, are they just wearing this guy down, especially in the heat? We've got beautiful weather tonight.
Well, like I said, that front seven of Terrebonne has something to do with that, right?
And Lee again, by the way.
And if
up to the 40.
And if you look at the size differential between the guys in the Destrehan jerseys and the guys in the Terrebonne jerseys, it's going to be hard to run inside there, you know. And so you've got to just give them a little taste every now and then to keep them honest, right?
Shane Lee coming off the field walking very gingerly, so don't know if maybe he's got a bit of a cramp or turned an ankle. No idea yet. We'll keep an eye on him. And they look to be okay. Here's third down 5, and there's the toss, and it's going to be very close to a first down. If they mark it on the 45, he's got it. The first down marker is the 45-yard line of the officials. The linesmen say first down.
Yeah, it was McKalen Smothers, I believe, the third receiver there on the trips formation to the top of the screen. I'm check that. That wasn't McKalen Smothers. That might have been
Wilford.
Yeah, Drake Wilford was the third receiver on the trips formation to the wide side of the field. Just runs a nice little sit-down route in between the linebackers. What ends up taking place is good offensive coordinators will take what they're given, right? They'll take what they're given by numbers. They'll take what they're going to be given by leverage. They're going to take what they're going to get by angles. It all plays into what you're going to call. So that's the reason why the word unselfish is the key word by an offense, because some nights you're going to have to be able to spread the ball outside on the perimeter, and some nights you're going to be able to pound it inside the tackles. And, tonight we're seeing the Wildcats taking advantage of their speed out on the perimeter so far in the first half.
At the 45-yard line, timeout called Destrehan. Not sure why, but maybe they didn't like something they were looking at. But that will give us an opportunity to thank our second quarter sponsor, Rhino Shield. Tonight's coverage on Crescent City Sports is brought to you by Rhino Shield Mid-South. If you're tired of painting year after year, go Rhino. Rhino Shield resists chipping, cracking, flaking, or peeling and is backed by a 25-year warranty, folks. That's a long time. Quarter of a century right there, warranty. Get your free estimate. Visit Rhino Shield Mid-South, all one word, rhinoshieldmidsouth.com, or call 833-233-7181. Easy number to remember, 833-233-7181. Rhino Shield, thanks for sponsoring our second quarter Rhino Shield and our first quarter Lamarck Field. Well, we've got some graphics we want you to take a look at, and probably missed a golden opportunity to get one in right there, but we will at the next little short break, including some power rankings and where these two teams stand in district, because right now you're looking at two of the very best, 1 and 3. First down for Destrehan at their own 45-yard line. Jackson Fields in the backfield. Shane Lee is not in there right now. Remember, he came out limping just a little while ago.
Well, that was 15, Shane Ward. He runs the nice inside zone play right there, split zone.
He's gotten just a little bit of action, but not a whole lot. He's a junior, 5'7", 179.
But he's a nice compliment to Shane Lee. He's got a little get up and go. He's got a little bit more of that outside burst of speed that will complement Shane Lee's inside physicalness.
Ward stays in there. They'll fake to Ward this time, and here comes Fields running left, slipped, and just goes down for a short gain. And he's got the first down. He moves the chains, which is what he wanted to do. And Destrehan, by the way, in this drive, eating up just a little bit of clock as they took over here.
Well, it's zone read. He's reading the last guy on the line of scrimmage in the white jersey. If the white jersey falls down inside to the running back, he's going to disconnect and take it outside. He did that, and he picked up the first down.
Now Shane Lee is back in at running back. They'll play action to him, and the tip pass is picked off by a Terrebonne Tiger. One of the Tigers got it. Let's see, that is big, I believe 99. Trying to look, or is it 55? Again, it's hard to see him, folks.
I think that was Zion Simmons.
Well, only if we see it again can we tell. Could have been Zion Simmons, and I'm not sure. I thought it might have been.
Well, Terrebonne Tiger picks it off, right? We just couldn't get the number because of the yellow on the white. So Terrebonne gets its first turnover of the evening. It's going to set them up in decent field position. They've got to stop shooting themselves in the foot offensively, penalties, turnovers, and those sort of things.
So with 9:34 in the first half, Terrebonne takes over at their own 39-yard line. Quarterback grabbed by the jersey, and he fights his way back to the line of scrimmage and falls forward across the 40 up to the 42-yard line. A gain of 3, and a pretty nice move by Owen Oliver. Trying to escape, and somebody not stretched that jersey out, he might have gotten a little bit more.
Oh, Destrehan brings both backers on an A and a B blitz right there, and they get through. He has no place to set his feet, so he just tucks that ball and takes off. Doesn't have much room, but it is going to set up a second and long.
So at the 42, second down, 7. Destrehan showing some blitz. Here it comes. The kitchen sink coming at the quarterback. He releases quickly and gets it back on a completed pass to the line of scrimmage. Making the catch was Anderson.
Yeah, Anderson was out there for the wide receiver screen. So how do you beat the blitz? Throw the screen. Here comes the blitz. 7 guys coming right there. They get rid of the ball real quick. Owen Oliver stands in, dumps it out there. Nice job by Anderson.
Carl Anderson saves the day right there, but brings up third down and still 8 yards to go. They lost a yard on that.
Well, you saw a great defensive effort by the secondary of Destrehan, really pursuing and running their tails off to get over to the ball, and they got there and they stopped Anderson before he could get going.
3rd down 8. Lots of time this time. He's going to chunk one long. Good coverage and incomplete. Very good coverage that time by Braylon Cryer. And he was right underneath his man. Didn't let him get to the football with no pass interference either.
One of the first things you want to teach corners is on vertical routes is to make sure that you stack the route, right? The receiver's trying to stack you. You're trying to stack him. He does a great job. Talking about Braylon Cryer there, does a nice job making sure that he does not get stacked by the receiver. Does a nice look and lean into the receiver at the last second. Great coverage.
Ooh, that punt came very close to being blocked. Just got it off in time. Hilliard with the punt. And that's where the Destrehan Wildcats will take over at their own 33-yard line with 7:55 to play in the first half.
Well, Destrehan again taking the ball over in pretty decent field position, right?
Yeah, listen, they've got an opportunity. The last pass, a good pass rush by the defensive line by Terrebonne on the last offensive possession. They were able to deflect the pass, and then the diving scoop and interception by one of the linebackers or linemen. So Destrehan again right now with a 14-point lead at 14-0 can just afford to hand it off a little bit, and that's exactly what they're doing. So that's Anthony Robinson. We haven't seen him touch the football as a runner until just now.
Well, we see him in the backfield now with Anthony Robinson. They come in with 2 backs. All right, and out of the 2-back formation, you've got Shane Lee as the lead blocker on the sweep, and Anthony Robinson, who is an athlete. You'll see him defensively as well as offensively running the football.
Yeah, he's an Ole Miss commit, and very good football player. This one right off the hands of the intended receiver, Jabari Mack.
A little too hot to handle. That looked like a 100-mile-per-hour fastball coming out of the hands of Jackson Fields, right? He was looking initially for Shane Lee running the wheel route down the boundary. He glanced at him initially. He's all covered up by white jerseys. You can see it here at the bottom of your screen. So he comes back to his secondary receiver, which was Jabari Mack, and he just burns it right through his hands.
So at the 38-yard line, 3rd down 5. Fields with the toss. He's got Mack this time, and Mack breaks a tackle, and he is up to near midfield and has the first down. So the drive continues for the Wildcats. But wait a minute. Do we have a flag down? We do have a flag down. This one came in very late.
We might have a illegal. You don't call it spearing anymore. You call it illegal contact with the helmet. Let's see what the call is here.
Personal foul.
All we got was personal foul, and they pointed to somebody on Terrebonne.
Personal foul, and all we saw was personal foul defense. Yeah, so
let's see if we can see from the replay. Right there.
Right there. There it is. Number 7.
Look like they got number 7. Gregory Harding leads with his helmet right there. So it's going to be a 15-yard penalty tacked on to the end of the play.
Well, that puts the Wildcats in great position at the 36-yard line of Terrebonne, and caught in the backfield and dropped. My goodness. Great rush coming in by the Terrebonne Tigers.
I think that was 95. Jaquez Lawson comes from his defensive position on the Terrebonne right-hand side. Penetrates. Nobody touches him. You got to block that guy, right? You just can't let that guy run in there, and he's going to blow you up every time in the backfield.
Shane Lee in the game. They lost a few yards on that one. This time he is dropping back to throw. Fields tosses it to the right side. Not much there after the catch was made by Philip Wright.
Look, I'm going to say it
Off the
again.
yard again.
This Terrebonne defensive front will present a problem, and they're presenting a couple problems to the Destrehan offensive line. They're heavily outweighed, right? So you see a little penetration. You saw a couple of missed blocks right there in this drive so far, and they're having a little tough time running in between the tackles because they just can't move these big dudes.
At third down, they actually marked it up a little bit, so it was no gain. Third down at the 39-yard line. Fields rolls to the right, needs 3, throws long. It is caught. If it is a completion, it's a first down, and it is. So it is caught by Johnny Field.
Smart move by the Wildcats in their offensive coordinator, getting your quarterback away from those big guys in the rush. Get him out on the edge where he can see a little bit better and he's got a little bit of green grass in front of him and he doesn't have to worry about a 355-pound guy landing on top of him, right? So he throws the ball out there and hits Johnny Thiel on the boundary for a nice pickup. And we've got a flag on the play. Imagine that.
Wow, I lost track of the penalties. We don't have a statistician, folks. We're trying to keep it, but there's been so many in this game. It's been tough to hang in there with keeping track of them. Hate to say it, but
well, we got a 15-yard unsportsmanlike conduct penalty against Destrehan. Either something was said or some sort of motion as far as taunting or something of that nature took place at the end of the play. It was a dead ball foul, so it's going to be marked back from the spot of where the play ended.
Well, Coach Marcus Scott did not really debate the subject when the official came over to tell him what it was all about. So maybe he saw it and felt like, yeah, somebody just needs a little coaching on that situation. So that'll make it now. First down back at the 37-yard line. And there's a toss left side. Right now, again, as you said, Terrebonne's defense is doing many things well. If you look at how the Wildcats scored early in this game, the pick 6 to give them the 14, and then the touchdown bomb right after a turnover. And here's Shane Lee trying to go forward. He spins in there backwards and pushes forward for a yard down to the 35. Bingham on the tackle.
Yeah, big dude, 6'3", 320. Moves well, too. Light on his feet. I bet you he would be good in like a dance contest. He's got nice athleticism, and he does a nice job getting off the block there and making a huge play.
6'3", 320, you think he'd be slow. Third on the team in tackles, leads in sacks. And, I mean, he's just there all over the place. Good toss and good catch down there by, well, let me check it. That's Greg Wilford.
Well, when you're going to catch the ball over the middle, that's the mark of a solid receiver, right? Because you know somebody's going to lower the boom on you. Wilford does a nice job running this square in right across the middle, and he gets boomed. Nice gain.
This time they're going for it all in the end zone, and it's Wilford again jumping up. Does he hold it? Does he have it? It is. Give me a signal because I don't have it yet. Flags are thrown. So more penalties.
Well, they're going to get another taunting. They're going to get an unsportsmanlike call.
I didn't see that.
Wilford made a little gesture after he caught that post route over the middle. Let's take a look at the route right here.
I never saw any hands go up in the air by one of the officials.
So here we go. There's the catch.
There's the catch. It looks like it's a touchdown. You're waiting for the official's call. He's looking at it. Now he goes touchdown. The quick little arm raise and then throws the flag. There it was. Boy, it was a quick little touchdown call by the official.
Great catch by Wilford. Something happened at the end. He either kicked the player as he was getting up or he had something to say and he made a little gesture with his hands. Something happened that caused the flag to come out, and they'll assess it on the kickoff.
Yeah, it was after the touchdown. So once he signals touchdown, as quickly as he signaled that and pulled his hands down because he was grabbing for the flag, the play was dead, right?
Yes, it was a dead ball, so
a dead ball
foul.
Yeah.
Correct. It'll be assessed on the kickoff.
And Ryan Lacey puts it through. 21-0 Destrehan in what has been sort of a strange first half, filled with penalties. And my goodness, it's about as crazy as you could expect. And to think that, if you take away some of the penalties, Terrebonne had some good drives. This could almost be a 14, and take away the pick six, you could have a 14-14 game right now. Instead, you've got a 21-0 game, 2 touchdowns by the offense for Destrehan, 1 pick six that went in. Terrebonne on a deflected pass had an interception, got down there, but once again, when they were down in situations, they didn't just exactly have the opportunity to make it happen.
Well, you've got big plays, you've got penalties, and you've got penalties by both sides, but the big plays are the story of the night for Destrehan. You got the Wilford catch right there, you've got the bomb in the first quarter, and then, like you said, the pick six, and we're looking at a 21-0 game right now.
Well, the whistle, we're going to just show you the District 7-5A standings. We'll do that after the kick. Celestine, closest to us, will pull it in at the 20-yard line, and he's up to the 30 and the 36, so about a 16-yard return by Celestine will give Terrebonne the ball, first and 10 at their own 36. Let's take a look at the District 7-5A standings. And there you see them right there. Destrehan 6-0 up at the top. Terrebonne still undefeated coming in district play coming into this game and losing the opener, the season opener, and then they have found a way to turn it around and win 5 in a row after that. This was a big game. Sometimes you think maybe a team can be too ready, Wade, for a game?
Well, they got beat by a real good John F. Kennedy team, and they've righted their ship since that particular loss. They're a good football team, but the big thing is they have that goose egg in district play, so that puts them right there in the mix. And one of them will have a loss tonight, but next week's game between Terrebonne and East St. John is another telltale sign for this district.
Well, let's see, is there another flag thrown? And there could have been one at the end of the play. Oliver scrambling, Oliver throwing, and then I thought very close to a late hit, and I wasn't sure if that was the flag, but the flag was thrown early, so the flag...
The flag was a holding penalty right in the middle of that Terrebonne offensive line. So they'll mark it back 10 yards from the previous spot.
So now it's first down and 20. Moving it back to the 27-yard line of the Terrebonne Tigers. Oliver with Johnson behind him will hand off to Johnson. Johnson straight ahead. And he's across the 30, back up to the 31-yard line.
That was Arrington Adams making that play. Good football player. Watch Arrington Adams right here, number 54 from his linebacker position. He gets a nice read on the ball, fights off the block, and then makes the play. Everything you want your linebackers to be able to do. See it with their eyes, fight off the block, and then tackle.
Oliver and Johnson on second down and 16 at the Tigers' 30-yard line. Quick pass, left side, and a little too high for the intended receiver, Quincy McKay.
Ken, that's where a left-handed ball is going to float a little bit when you throw across your body to the right-hand side of your offense. And that ball right there floated on the intended receiver. That's that's the difference with a left-hand quarterback and a right-hand quarterback, right? And kids today are used to seeing everything coming at them out of a right-handed throw. A little bit different with a left-handed guy. Not to say that we're 7 weeks into the season and they shouldn't be, ready to see his ball move.
Gilliard was at the top of your screen, and Oliver was looking that way, and all of a sudden, there came pressure, and Oliver had to just scramble out of it across the 36 up to the 30. Well, they're going to mark it back at the 36-yard line, and it's going to be 4th and 11.
Well, Terrebonne
has to punt.
Had a nice little stunt at the top of your screen between the tackle and the end. twisting and coming around and coming loose was the defensive end, which kind of got Oliver off of his spot, and he had to run out of there, like you said, Ken.
Well, this means that they've got to give it away. Terrebonne does with 3 minutes and 15 seconds. Big rush again. And Celestine is just able to get it out of there. Had a good punt this time. It's going to get a little bit of a Terrebonne roll and will be touched down at about the 27-yard line in Wildcat territory. So a Terrebonne defense that has been good is going to be asked to keep the Wildcats out of the end zone. The front's been pretty good, but you say, how can I say that, giving up 21 points? It really struck on big plays.
Well, it's right.
The flag down again.
Jeez, these guys are going to have to ice down at halftime.
I truly was trying to keep up with the penalties, and I can't do it. I lost count.
That is the third, as I counted, personal foul or unsportsmanlike penalty against the Wildcats. That's got to get addressed at halftime.
Yes. And what's amazing is they still lead in this first half, 21-0 with 3:01 to go. That, I think, is probably a testimony to how good this team is.
Well, that's the big plays in the turnover.
Shane Lee is the running back, but this one will stop, and we've got another. I'm looking for the flag.
I thought it was a flag. They stopped the play. I guess they didn't have the clock set or reset, something of that nature. Maybe it was the 40-second clock they had to reset.
Yeah, because there was plenty of time on the play clock. Well, he's going to throw it long. He's got a man, just misses Jabari Mack, and if Mack would have caught that, he would have been scampering all the way for a score. My goodness.
He beat the defender on a post route. Post route was wide open. Safeties were gone. Let's take a look at it again. You've got zero coverage all over the field. When you have that, that means the center of the field is wide open. There's no help from a free safety or any safety. And when you can beat your corner to a post route, you can't miss that as a quarterback. That should be 6. They're going to want that one back again. They'll come back to that when they see man coverage.
Well, a little crowded in the backfield, and Shane Lee does a nice job of just holding on to the football and getting it back to the 9-yard line.
That was Bingham again on that play. Big Tylen Bingham. Watch him get rid of the blocker right there. He does a nice little swim move to the inside into the A-gap. He beats the left guard on that play, Yarnell Smith, and he makes a stop for a 2-yard loss.
Yeah, to the 9. One thing that Terrebonne has done is they have really shut down Shane Lee when he's tried to run the ball. There goes the toss, and he had to wait for it, reach back for it, and couldn't pull it in. That was Philip Wright trying for it. You hear a lot of people in the press box as we sit close to some Destrehan people yelling for possible pass interference, but that was an underthrown ball. And the receiver had to try to hold up on it.
Yeah, a little hand playing. Both of them are fighting for the ball right there. The defensive back was in position. The receiver was on top. You know, when you're in position as a defensive back, you're not going to get that interference call. It's when you're out of position and you're trying to scramble to get back up real quick and you start holding on to a jersey or grabbing an arm, they're going to throw that flag every time.
4th and 13. So the Wildcats punt out of their end zone, and this one's taken at the 43 and returned to the 35.
Best starting position tonight for the Terrebonne Tigers.
Yeah, that was, I believe, Quincy McKay. So still with 1 minute and 57 seconds to play in the first half, just under 2 minutes. Terrebonne has great field position on Destrehan's side of the 50. And if they can make something happen and stay penalty-free, they can easily get back into this game.
Well, if they can get something going, oh, my goodness. Imagine we got a flag. They're marking it back. I did not even see the flag on the field.
You know, we've had so many, our eyes have just adjusted to it now. They think it's just, my eyes, your eyes think it's a natural thing. Can't tell the difference between the field and the turf anymore.
Well, it was against Terrebonne. They marked it from the end of the play.
Yeah, but they were close to the
So it had
the 30, 35-yard line. This moves them back to their own 45. Now it is 1st and 10. They'll run it and get the first down on the first run. And that's good for the Tigers. That's Johnson with the run. Clock stops, move the chains.
Again, Johnson on the zone play. Nice job getting in there. Missed tackle up front by number 91, Jaron McCall. Just misses the tackle, which allows Chase Johnson to scamper on into the secondary.
Bill Yachts at the top of your screen. Johnson moves up that way. That's not the way that the quarterback's looking, and he'll throw over the middle. It's complete at the 30-yard line. And good catch right there by Celestine.
Yeah, Celestine coming across in the square end pattern, and Oliver hits him right in between the 1 and the 0 for a nice gain.
Oh, wait, did he not catch that? Are they moving it back to the line of scrimmage? 2nd and 10. I thought he caught it.
Well, it looks like it was incomplete. Apparently, I didn't see an incomplete signal. These guys don't give any signals.
Man, all right, incomplete. 2nd down, 10. Watch the top of your screen. That's where your top receiver is. This time the quarterback's just going to run. He's got a little bit of room. Oliver makes it happen. And Oliver goes out of bounds wisely, which stops the clock with 1:21. So good thinking by the young sophomore quarterback. If I've got to run it, let me get out of bounds. And he stops the clock with 1:21 to play in the half. Terrebonne trying to get on the board for the first time in this game.
Well, it's going to put him a 3rd down and short situation. Watch nothing open for Billiot. What does he do? Scamper out, and he gets over that sideline. Like you said, smart play, Ken, of him getting out of bounds, as you said. And at least they've got a 3rd and short situation now.
Billiot's up at the top of your screen. He's going to run a slant over the middle, and they now cuts back outside. They throw to him, and it'll be incomplete. Couldn't catch up to it. Good coverage that time by Ty Terrell.
Yeah, Ty Terrell right there on the corner route, and coming over to help him from his free safety position was Anthony Robinson. So you can see it's a post corner route, very well covered by Terrell. Great position. Ball floats over the head of the intended receiver.
1 minute and 15 seconds to go. 4th down for the Tigers. Short yardage. 2 to move the chains. They still have a lot of time if they can make the first, but they've got to do it here and not turn it over on downs. The give to Johnson. It'll be his. He runs into a stack of players but pushes forward and has the first down all the way down to the 30.
Well, they pick up the first down.
By a yard.
I'll stop the clock for a moment. And
a lot of Terrebonne fans watching this game, taking a deep breath right now. Stops the clock with 1:08, Wade.
Well,
good push. That's a push by Jace Johnson.
Well, they have not changed, and now we got a flag.
Flag down. Now this was thrown after the play, so let's see what this one's about. Unsportsmanlike conduct.
That's the 4th
on both teams. So
on both teams. They're going to offset that, but they have not changed the down and distance. I thought for sure he got that first down. Now they change it. There we go.
Yeah, down and distance has been about as slow as the officials giving us some signals in this game. We should have known right off the bat when we couldn't see the jersey numbers. Right. A little bit, as it gets darker in the evening, it's getting a little bit easier to see, especially on the monitor. But
well, for Terrebonne, they run the ball, they get the first down, smart play. They take one of their 3 timeouts right there. Minute 8, they've got plenty enough time to be able to not only run the football, they have their choice of everything on their play sheet to be able to score here.
Yeah.
So, they've got to manage the clock well. They've got to get the ball into their playmakers' hands. They got to make something happen, and they got to stay away from the penalties.
Yes. Look, they've got a good, beefy, athletic offensive line here. Mosley, Pledger, Bolden, Stewart, and Jones, left to right. If you want to run behind him, you can, but you're playing against the clock, 1:08, so somebody's going to have to make a play to get you some yardage. Oliver Empty backfield with 3 receivers to the bottom of your screen. He is being chased from the pocket. He will throw on the run, and he throws it incomplete down low in the turf, woefully short in front of the intended receiver.
Well, he sets his feet. He's looking for, and now we got a flag.
Well, he may have crossed the line of scrimmage before he threw. Let's see. I'm looking to see where the flag is. Let's see if that's an illegal forward pass. Yeah, isn't it?
Yes, it was. Illegal forward pass. He crossed the line of scrimmage. They're going to take a down because that's a loss of down in high school football. Let's see on our replay. You can see Bowen does a nice job flushing him from the pocket. And, yes, he crosses over the line of scrimmage.
Just crossed over that line of scrimmage when he threw.
Down on that play was big number 77, Sean Pledger, 6'2", 350. I'd like to see the pregame meal for the Terrebonne Tigers. I bet you these guys can pack away some pasta for their pregame meal, right, man? These guys can,
look, as big as they are, they move well.
They move well.
Offensively and defensively, these guys move. What Coach Tyler Lewis has done in his second year as head coach, being promoted last year from assistant to head coach, has been very, very special with this team. And look, he's got a system. He calls it the Terrebonne Perfect Way, and that's the way he wants these guys to play. It's been a big turnaround from last year to this year. So here's second down after the loss of down. He'll throw it out right side. Can you make the move? No. And Johnson just couldn't go anywhere with that one. They're going to have to call the timeout and stop the clock with 50 seconds to play in the half, and third down coming up. Third down and 11.
Would have liked seen something a little bit more vertical down the field right there. I see what they're trying to do. They're trying to get one of their big play guys out one-on-one in the flat and let him make an athletic move. Great play defensively right there by Jermaine White, the 5'11", 170-pound senior, with a one-on-one tackle, one-on-one with Jace Johnson. Great athletic play in the open field.
By the way, at halftime, we've got an interview we're going to run with Jeff Hundley, the CEO of the All-State Sugar Bowl. They had the 90th anniversary luncheon of the Sugar Bowl. The Sugar Bowl has meant so much to New Orleans and to amateur athletics, but all the bowls right now are competing, and it's costing big dollars to the networks, to the college football playoff CFP group to stay in contention for college football games. And he gave a little State of the Union of where the Sugar Bowl was many years ago, where they are today, and how you can help to keep the Sugar Bowl. And you'll see what's going on with other bowls. Jeff Hundley, it's going to be a pretty long interview, but I think you'll like it, folks. Coming up at halftime. So here is your third down play, 11 to go, 50 seconds. If they can move the chains, they've got time, and they've got 2 downs to move it. Here's the quick toss slant in. Did somebody deflect that pass, or did it just float out of his hands?
Well, a lot of pressure on by that Destrehan defensive line and outside linebackers, running a couple nice little stunts inside. Watch on your replay here. There come the outside linebackers off the edge. You can see the inside guys.
Somebody got a little piece of it.
You can see the inside guys right there do a great job getting penetration. And as you said, Ken, you got a little hit on the arm of Oliver right there to be able to make the ball float like a duck. Brings up fourth down and long, and Terrebonne looks like they're going to go for it.
Yeah, well, fourth down and 11, you've got to with 46 seconds here. You could kick the field goal, but right now, look, Terrebonne's got a kicker that's got, not sure if he's got.
Well, here's what we've got. Okay, he's
got length. I don't know if he's got that type of length to make it from here.
Here's my investigative reporting, Ken. He has kicked a 52-yard field goal in a game, but it hit the upright. Oh. It was not good, right?
Okay.
He's 2 of 8 on the season. We're talking about Ryan Abity.
Yes.
He's 34-35 of his PATs. He's 2 of 8 on his field goals. And according to the Terrebonne staff, he has attempted a 52-yard field goal, had the distance plus, but hit the upright.
Oh, that's a heartbreaker, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
But they're going to bring him in right now, and he is going to try from the 36-yard line. He's going to try a 46-yard field goal to get some points on the board with 46 seconds. So this one from the right hash mark. Not that much of a wind to affect the football. So they'll mark it actually back at the 37. This will be a 47-yard field goal attempt. It is put down. It is kicked up. It is going to be short. No good. So he got it low. He probably had to get it up just a little bit, so he misses on that 47-yarder.
Didn't get the ball up. Needed to get it up a little bit and just did not have the height.
Now, the bad news is, for Terrebonne, you're giving the Destrehan Wildcats 45 seconds to play. And look, even if you go forward on fourth down and don't make it, you're giving them 45 seconds to play. So this defensive front has been excellent. Both teams have some explosive receivers. Let's see what happens here. What will Jackson Fields do? He will roll to the right, toss a little bit out to Shane Lee out of the backfield. Lee's got a head of steam. Lee breaks a tackle. Lee breaks another and finally goes down at the 44-yard line. Wow.
Destrehan is going to take one of their last two timeouts right there on a big explosive screenplay by Shane Lee, who does a nice job when he is in open field.
25-yard gain.
Very nicely set up. The screen game by Destrehan tonight has been superb. They've been getting bodies onto those linebackers, which are solid athletes, and allowing Shane Lee to pick up great yardage on the screens.
Wow. That puts Destrehan on Terrebonne's side of the 50 at the Tigers' 45-yard line with 34 seconds, so that didn't take a lot of time. That whole play unfolded with about 11 seconds gone. And now with 34 seconds to play at the Terrebonne 45-yard line, first down, Shane Lee still back there. But Fields will scramble to the left and just throw it away. Throw it away. He did have a receiver in the area. Jabari Mack was coming back to the ball about 5 yards downfield. So it's an incomplete pass. 26 seconds, 2nd and 10.
Plus, also new Federation rules allow him to be able to be outside the box and just be able to toss the ball out of bounds to be able to just get rid of it and save some time. No more intentional grounding on that.
I was looking at an officials group on social media, and they were complaining about sometimes even the coaches get the Sunday rules and the Saturday rules and the Friday rules mixed up. And sometimes I got to remind them, Coach, we're playing by Friday rules in high school football. Fields, how does he escape and goes down from behind as he gets back to the line of scrimmage and maybe one more. Clock's ticking, 15, 14, and we hear the whistles. Timeout, Destrehan.
A little slow on that timeout. They took a couple of extra seconds off the clock right there. So
could have got that one in 3 seconds earlier.
Yeah, when you get to the rules on the 3 days, I mean, some of them have fallen in line. Like this year, we talked about it way back at the beginning of the year, how important it was that the Federation, which are Friday night rules, have come in line with Saturday rules, the NCAA rules, especially on penalties behind the line of scrimmage that are contact penalties, like holdings, blocking the backs, things of that nature. And I know I harped on it for years and years and years about how bad enforcement was with the Federation involving those particular types of penalties, and now they've fallen in line. So you're seeing things slowly but surely coming, I guess you would say, in line with especially the way you enforce penalties and ease of enforcement, right? So
yeah, again, and
but you got to know.
I was reading. He was saying, the coach is chewing me, and once I said that, it was like the light went off. Oh yeah, okay. And he walked away. It's like, you're right. This is Friday night rules, and down goes Fields with 6 seconds to go.
and that was Tydrick Stewart making that sack. He comes in with this. That's his second sack of the season. Terrebonne brings a nice blitz. Tydrick Stewart beats the offensive lineman to the inside on the inside B gap right there, and does a nice job getting home on the quarterback for his second sack, as I said.
Well, we're at halftime, and Destrehan has the lead 21-0 as they let the clock run out. Didn't try to get anything more out of the first half than that. They'll take a 3-touchdown lead into the halftime locker room. And before we go to the Jeff Hundley interview, just real quick, your thoughts on this first half, and we'll go to Jeff Hundley very quickly, okay?
Well, my thoughts are real quick. Too many penalties.
Yeah.
That's the bottom line. In both directions, I think we've got 4 or 5 unsportsmanlikes against Destrehan. Personal fouls or unsportsmanlike penalties, and that's got to be addressed at halftime by the Destrehan coaching staff.
All right, let's watch and listen to from yesterday at the Louisiana Superdome in front of a full house of businessmen and concerned people, concerned sports fans. Sugar Bowl, All-State Sugar Bowl CEO Jeff Hundley explained what's happening with the bowls, the college football playoff system, and how you can help the Sugar Bowl stay relevant in these times.
While the bowl, from what you've heard, has obviously done a lot in the city, state, and region, we really haven't done a great job of communicating our value or the opportunity that the organization represents. Quite frankly, it just hasn't been in our DNA to beat our chest about the contributions that we make around the community. But for better or for worse, that's going to change starting now. The annual football game and calendar of events produces a $200 million economic impact on an annual basis. And this includes millions of tax dollars that benefit the citizens of this city and state. Additionally, the football game brings in 70,000 visitors every year, not just once every 8 or 10 years like other major events. And it means another 20 million people will be watching on television or on their phones or on their computer screens. And with that comes millions of dollars in free advertising that drives the tourism engine that support this city and state so well. Over the course of the past 90 years, the Sugar Bowl Committee has worked really hard to try to be a good corporate citizen. And there's examples everywhere. You see up here on the slide, when COVID hit, remote learning became a thing. We quickly found out that there were kids in the community that didn't have access to internet or hotspots. Thanks to the College Football Playoff Foundation, and I need to thank Britton Banowski, who's the executive director, who's here with us. Britton, we were able to step up and fill that need. Additionally, during COVID, we stepped up when hospitality workers were really hurting. The Sugar Bowl provided $500,000 to support out-of-work hospitality workers. We talked already about the tremendous commitment that the Sugar Bowl has made to teachers in this community. $4 million with another $1 million pledge that we made this spring, all to try and better educate the youth of this city. We've worked with NORD on and off over the years and have provided hundreds of thousands of dollars to support both programs and facilities with that organization. We mentioned Joe Park. That's a $10 million rebuild of that facility that didn't happen until the Sugar Bowl brought Nike and the Drew Brees Foundation to the table in order to do something good out in New Orleans East. And we followed up behind that. We didn't just build a building. We provided programming for a decade out there $100,000 a year for 10 years to make sure that the kids had opportunities in that facility. When Tad Gormley, after Katrina, we made some money at our game in Atlanta that year, brought it back and put it right back into the city, $800,000 to help repair and reestablish Tad Gormley Stadium because it gets used by so many different schools in our community. Sugar Bowl's generosity is not limited either to the city. When there were shootings on the campus at Virginia Tech, the Bowl stepped up and provided $250,000 to support mental health counseling on that campus. When there were tornadoes in Tuscaloosa, another $250,000 to help repair the University of Alabama there. Also, not listed here, but we talked earlier about the 2020 National Championship game that I know a lot of people in here remember fondly because of LSU's win. That event doesn't come to New Orleans without $6 million that the Sugar Bowl put of its own money to cover the expenses of that event. To this date, we're a decade into the college football playoff, and the Sugar Bowl is the only bowl in 10 years that's used its own money to support the national championship game. So why are we here today? We're trying to keep New Orleans sweet. Like the rest of the world, college athletics is changing rapidly, and that means the Sugar Bowl too. Next year, the college football playoff expands to a 12-team playoff, and costs to participate in that expanded version are expected to rise significantly. And this comes on the heels of business arrangements that we've been in for the past decade that have been upside-down business models. You ask, why would you ever enter an upside-down business model? Well, our choice was to lose the Southeastern Conference if we didn't take that deal and potentially not be a member of the college football playoff. So we tightened our belt and did so. Simply said, costs to compete at an elite level have never been higher. We live in the era of billion-dollar television agreements. We've got name, image, and likeness access for student athletes. Schools are jumping leagues. Who would have ever thought you'd see the day when USC and UCLA would jump to the Big Ten Conference, a historically Midwest conference? Additionally, the Pac-12 Conference, a 108-year-old institution, has basically been blown up, decimated, and is down to just 2 teams. The Sugar Bowl is only 90 years old. Let that sink in for a minute. Next year, West Coast teams Stanford and Cal will be playing in the ACC. That's the Atlantic Coast Conference. Atlantic, that's right. And why is all this happening? Simply the pursuit of money. And when it comes to money, the Sugar Bowl's been fighting above its weight class for decades now. Add to that the fact that there's competition out there, very real competition. Cities with larger populations and corporate bases. Plus, there are a lot of well-heeled newcomers that want to take our spot in the college football playoff. You've got cities like Nashville, Las Vegas, Houston, San Antonio, Orlando. In Nashville, they're getting ready to build a new stadium, and they're almost done raising $75 million from the private business community to support their efforts to join the CFP or to go after Super Bowls or to go after Final Fours. Las Vegas, also a brand new stadium, and they've got a bottomless jackpot of money out there to go with it. Houston and San Antonio have a major events fund that so far has proven that it can deliver more than we've been able to realize out of the major events fund here in Louisiana. There's been a lot of work there, and we think that we're going to make some headway in that area, but to date, they're a step ahead on us. So we've asked you here to let you know, plain and simple, that we're no longer able to go it alone. We're going to need your help going forward. And as we ask for that help, we ask you that you understand that we feel we're doing our part in the process. Last year, we hosted a kickoff game here in the Dome, LSU and Florida State. That event had a $120 million economic impact for the city and state. We're also in talks with LSU about a future game to start the season. Just last month, we did the Sugar Bowl Country Kickoff. That was an event that created an $80 million economic impact for the city and state, and we're already in talks with another major performer for a similar event next year. If you're interested, mark your calendars for August 31st of 2024 right here in the Superdome. And while it's been a while, it's not unprecedented for the Sugar Bowl to reach out to the business community for assistance. As a matter of fact, the volunteers of this organization, who actually, yes, pay for their tickets and have required service hours, have been reaching out to the business community from the very beginning in order to get the Sugar Bowl off the ground and turn a concept into reality. A small group of Sugar Bowlers, solicited help from the business community, and you've seen here today what the organization has become. Also, at various times in the history of the organization, the membership of the Bowl stepped up and sold bonds that helped finance expansions to Old Tulane Stadium. And thanks to those expansions, New Orleans was able to land the New Orleans Saints when the NFL decided that they were going to expand all those years ago. Yes, you could draw a straight line between the efforts of the Sugar Bowl committee and the fact that the New Orleans Saints are here today. Some of you out there have already stepped up, and for that, we're grateful. The College Football Playoff Foundation's been referenced already. They've been a tremendous help. They've helped with funding as well as strategic planning. It's helped us make a real difference for the teachers in our community. Allstate has been our partner and title sponsor since 2007. Not a better sponsor in the business. Locally, we've got some great tourism partners. You heard from the Lieutenant Governor earlier. He's been involved with our kickoff game, the music event last month, been involved with the Sugar Bowl for 3 years. And I'm proud to say Walt Leger and the people at New Orleans and Company have stepped up as well. That's a new partnership that began last month with the music event, and we've just signed an agreement for multi-years into the future for them to support the football game as well. Also, we'll backtrack 10 years. When we signed that upside-down business model to continue and be a part of the playoff, the only entity in this city that stepped up to help us at that time was the Superdome. And so we're grateful to the management, ASM, and the people that stepped up there and realized what the Sugar Bowl brings to the community. What those partners understand is that the Sugar Bowl delivers millions of dollars to area businesses on an annual basis. And the annual needs to be re-emphasized here again. The impact and the visibility come every year unless we're no longer able to compete because of finances. A handful of local sponsors out there have also stepped up to help, and we're grateful for your participation and support over the years, but quite frankly, we need to do better. So why should you care about all this? From our vantage point, we feel like it's pretty simple. $200 million economic impact on an annual basis. Millions of dollars in direct tax revenue every year. Millions of dollars in annual national publicity that bolsters the tourism industry, which is the engine that drives this city and state. And $1 million in annual community programming benefiting teachers and others. Do we really want to risk seeing all that go away because we're not competing financially? So today we're in the uncomfortable but the real position of asking for your help. And it's not like we're here hat in hand. The Sugar Bowl has proven over decades that it can deliver in big ways for you and your companies with programming that can meet your needs, whether they're local, regional, or national. And we've got some very specific ways that you can plug in. The next slide shows you here. We've started a new website that goes active today. It's supportthesugarbowl.com. Ticket sales are going to be paramount going forward. Because of the additional rounds of the expanded college football playoff, we anticipate that we're going to have a lot more tickets to sell, potentially thousands. And it's important that we fill the stadium every year because there are forces at play out there that would like to see the entire playoff played on campus which would be devastating for all of us here. So we're going to have tickets for games that matter on an annual basis, and you can help us out there. We've got sponsorship packages to promote your brands and drive sales. We're big on, under promising and over delivering too. And sponsorship is part of the revenue equation for any bowl organization. And again, we quite frankly need to do better there. If cause giving is your thing, we have that too. As you've heard, we're big on supporting teachers in the community. You can help us recruit, recognize, and retain the very best that are having an impact on the children that represent the future of this city. We've also provided hundreds of thousands of dollars in scholarships. You can help us there. We've, through our annual association with the National Football Foundation, we do scholarships for boys in the spring each year, and then our Women in Sport platform at our New Orleans Sports Hall of Fame induction ceremony is a summer event where you can help us out as well. Whatever suits you, we're here to help. The bottom line is we need your help if we're going to continue as a member of the expanded playoff, and if we're going to be able to continue to do the good things that this organization has been doing for 90 years now. Certainly all of us at the Sugar Bowl are fighting to continue in that vein. So in closing, we're humbly asking that you consider joining us as we attempt to keep New Orleans sweet. We think we have a lot to offer, and no doubt there's certainly a lot at stake.
Well, that's Jeff Hundley, the CEO of the All-State Sugar Bowl. And folks, you heard it right from him. We're in a very competitive time with all the bowls and the money they're raising from their particular areas to try to stay very significant in the playoff picture. And we certainly hope that if you're a businessman or a company owner, that you'll get behind the Sugar Bowl efforts and see how you can help. It's not always in just donating big dollars to the Sugar Bowl or being one of their sponsors. Just many other ways. We ask that you contact the All-State Sugar Bowl and let them know how you can help. And we appreciate that. We are here with Destrehan and Terrebonne, 21-0 Destrehan in the first half here. It's been all Destrehan, but Terrebonne had their opportunities. They lost one on a fumble down close. They had some opportunities. They penalized themselves out of it. So did Destrehan. There were a bunch of penalties. We don't have a lot of stats for you, but we'll get to that in just a moment. First, want to show you in Division I non-select with the Crescent City sports partner Go Preps. Take a look at this. How do they stand in the power rankings as we enter week number 7? And you see them right there, Wade.
Well, now that we have a picture on how the playoff situation is going to look here in a few weeks, we're looking at Division I non-select. Good football teams right there in the top 16. All right, remember that those guys in the top 16 are going to be able to have home games either in the first round or in the second round if they've got a bye in the first round, right? Ruston, really good football team out of North Louisiana, obviously. Walker, Neville, St. Amant, Zachary. Airline, Southside, and there's your Destrehan Wildcats right there sitting at number 8. Good football team out of West Monroe, as usual, who's had a coaching change in the past couple of weeks. Dutchtown, East St. John, Bell Chase, really good football team. Had a chance to see them a couple of weeks ago. I think that 3-2 record isn't an indication of how really good they are. Chalmette, who's playing tonight, and I heard the score that they're up on their scoreboard tonight. They're a good football team.
Well,
Westgate,
you think like quarterback there making a big difference.
Right. Westgate, West Ouachita, and then Ponchatoula at 4-2, who I've heard Ponchatoula is really playing well right now.
Well, and remember, East St. John, you saw them right behind Destrehan a couple of spots down. They're going to meet. Destrehan and East St. John are going to meet in 2 weeks.
Yeah, and
they're going to meet in week 9.
Right,
this is week 7.
And Terrebonne meets East St. John next week.
Celestine deep, closest to us for the kick. And we are underway here in the second half. Celestine will take it at the 8-yard line. Celestine with a little bit of a hole, and he's pulled down from behind, falling forward near the 35-yard line. So Terrebonne will have good field position to start this second half of play.
Well, the things that had to get ironed out at halftime, Ken, is, Terrebonne had to address the situation of shooting themselves in the foot offensively. They've moved the ball sporadically at times. They've had a couple of big splash plays, but it always is getting called back by some sort of penalty. Destrehan has got to address the penalty situation. Up 21-0, should be a little bit more. Penalties have kept them off the scoreboard more than those 3 times.
Oliver fakes to Johnson, keeps himself, and in that keeper, he slides down right at the 39-yard line, so that'll be a gain of 4.
And he's gimpy getting up.
Yeah, he's slow to get up. You're right. They will mark it.
There's your zone read. You're going to see he goes down on that turf hard. Looks like he's getting up with a gimpy hip a little bit. He grabbed the side of his hip as his rear end and hip and lower back went down on that hard turf.
When you're watching on TV and you see the sheen on the turf, it gets to be slippery, and when it gets to be slippery like that, it can get a little bit more hard underneath. When you fall on it, you're not falling like you're falling on grass sometimes. But there's your first down with Johnson running it over the right side, and he's all the way up to the 48-yard line.
Oh, there's one of your little splash plays right there for a nice pickup. He runs inside the tackles for a nice gain. They get a little movement on the offensive line against that Destrehan defensive line. You can see it up front. There's the kick-out block by the big guard coming into your picture right there, which opens up a hole for Jace Johnson to run downhill in.
Oliver hanging in, throws to Billiard. He is hit hard as soon as he catches the ball. Got it across the 50 down to the 49-yard line of the Wildcats for a 3-yard gain. That'll bring up 2nd down and 7 as Terrebonne's just trying to find ways to move the football. That might be what they addressed. Look, no penalties, and let's take our time. We're pretty good. Let's move the football. We had opportunities. We could probably have 7-14 on the board right now.
Well, the phrase, I've said it 2 or 3 times, shooting yourself in the foot, whether it's a penalty, whether it's a dropped ball, something that has slowed them down. That was surely addressed at halftime.
2nd down 7 at the Destrehan 49-yard line. Oliver, he's got some time. He can run if he wants. Instead, he'll throw to Johnson, who was just leaking out of the backfield, and he is inside the 40-yard line. He will have a first down for the Terrebonne Tigers, and they can move the chains.
Oliver's got a little moxie, right? He keeps his eyes downfield when he's pressured, nothing open, and he keeps things alive. Look at him. He sees everything downfield. He finds not his primary, not his secondary, but probably his 3rd or 4th receiver hanging out on the boundary, and he zips the ball out there to him for a nice pickup and a first down.
We've got timeout. I believe this one is charged to Terrebonne. Let's check. And it gives me a chance to thank our 3rd quarter sponsors tonight, our good friends over at Thibodaux Regional. Thibodaux Regional Sports Medicine Center is sponsoring our 3rd quarter, offering a comprehensive program with a team-certified athletic trainer or trainers, depending on how big the program, fellowship-trained sports medicine physicians, and orthopedic sports medicine-trained physical therapists to effectively manage injuries and safely return athletes to the game they love. Visit Thibodaux.com to learn more. Marketing Director Tony Martinez and CEO Greg Stock, he has done a great job. Home of the Manning Passing Academy, Thibodaux Regional, all over that to help the Manning Passing Academy every June or July. And folks, you can trust them, and they'll help you get well. 1st and 10 at the 47-yard line. Run going nowhere. And like you say, I like Owen Oliver. I like his control that he shows with this Terrebonne offense. And his calm. He's doesn't seem to get rattled very much, even when protection breaks down.
Well, that time they didn't get a body on Noah Murr. He's only a junior, 5'9", 270. He gets right in there and makes a nice play, banging everything up in the backfield. These are the long-distance downs that you got to stay out of, right? I mean, your seconds and longs, because now you've got to try to dial up something that's going to get the majority of it back so you can be in a manageable 3rd down.
Well, this time he's going to keep all the way, and Oliver goes down near the 30-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and probably about 5. He's about halfway there, maybe, let's call it 5.
That's quarterback draw all the way. They spread everything out of the backfield. They gave 4 receivers down to the short side of the field. Something's up when you're going to put your 4 receivers in an empty formation into the boundary, right? And 1 receiver at the top. That's trying to spread everything out, get linebackers out of the box, get those outside linebackers to widen out from the line of scrimmage, and then you're going to run quarterback draw.
Well, McKay's at the top of your screen. They have not gone to Billiot very much in this game. It might be time to try to shake him loose a little bit. Short completion over on the other side, tackled short of the first down. That's complete to Celestine.
Celestine's, kind of opposite of Biot. I mean, he runs a lot of really nice routes, has nice hands. He's always open. He comes in with 186 yards. Nice route right there. Nice catch. Tucks it away.
And he's rushed it 37 times for 165 and 3 more TDs there. So he goes quickly under center for the quarterback sneak. Caught from behind. Well played that time on 4th and short. Did he make it? We're going to have to wait to see where forward progress is. But somebody just came blowing through and grabbed him from behind. And I believe that was Anthony Robinson, the Ole Miss commit.
They're trying the old push right there. Everybody's seeing it now at every level. Everybody's trying to get behind that big offensive line and pick up that first down with the quarterback sneak, right? And nice job right there, as you said, Robinson, being able to slice in there and keep Oliver from falling forward and picking up the needed yardage.
Robinson don't slice in there, and it's a first down, Terrebonne. That's a heck of a play defensively by the 6'11 senior. It's an athlete. So 1st and 10 at the 28-yard line for the Wildcats, and they're going to run it on first down. Shane Lee breaking tackles, breaking 3, 4, and it takes a bunch to finally pull him down at the 44-yard line.
Well, there's your vintage Shane Lee right there. In his terms, I think he calls it beast mode, right? He's running hard downhill. Ooh, fumbled the snap right there.
That's his quote.
Got it into Shane Lee's hands, and there he goes. He's dragging guys. He's running over guys. He's running over his own man.
Now they marked it at the 44, and not going to get very much. They might even lose 2 on that play.
Well,
back to the 42, but yeah.
Julian Coleman right there, if we could get a replay. This guy just gets right in there. He beats the left tackle to the point of attack and just blows everything up in the backfield. Again, these Terrebonne Tigers up front are big, and they move well.
Throw to the right side, off the fingertips on the far side. That was a catchable pass, and really, Terrell should have pulled that one down.
Again,
I said Ty Terrell. Pardon me. That may have been Bill Yacht.
That again, Destrehan's going to have to get the ball. They get the ball out there on the edge, and that's what they're trying to do.
3rd down. Fields is just going to have to scramble his way, and he's trying to, and he crosses the 50, runs out of bounds, and it looks like he's just going to be short of the first down by a yard. He almost got it all back, and he'll be short. It'll be 4th, and let's see where they mark it. 4th and 2 at the 48-yard line.
The pocket collapsed, and he does a nice job getting out of there. Great coverage by Terrebonne downfield. Again, you got to know where the sticks are, so that way, instead of running out of bounds, you might have to cut it back against the grain in order to pick up that first down.
They give it to Big Shane Lee here on 4th and 2. Destrehan leading by 3 touchdowns. Or are they just trying to draw Terrebonne offside? So he goes under center.
Well, okay. We've got a lot of arguing down there between the coaches and the official.
Yeah.
They're trying to point things out. They were trying to draw them off sides.
It
just looks like they're out of sync, right? I mean, they're not in conjunction with the communication of what they're trying to get out there to their kids on the field. It just didn't look good right there in the way the communication package went in. So they elect to bring out their punt team. They were definitely trying to draw them off sides, and I think the Destrehan staff felt somebody lined up in the neutral zone or somebody jumped into the neutral zone.
Caleb Johnson punts it and gets a good one. And he'll punt it down where it's down inside the 15-yard line, down to the 14-yard line. And that's where Terrebonne will take over with 5 minutes and 57 seconds to play here in the third quarter. So each team's had the ball just once in the third quarter. They've used half the time on the clock. Well, Terrebonne has found ways to move the football away. They just have not found ways to get it into the end zone, and sooner or later they're going to have to find ways to score. Look, they hurt themselves with penalties in the first half, but guess what? So did Destrehan.
Yeah, there's a 3-score deficit. You're going to have to start getting productive on every drive, right, because soon you're battling the clock.
Yes, and there's a good choice of picking the right hole that time by Johnson. And Jace Johnson.
You know, he's got a little giddy up. He's got a little explosion. Down, yeah. Look at him hit the hole right there. Everything's blocked off and sealed off by the white jerseys. He's running downhill. They have a nice pickup, and they're in business with 1st and 10 again.
So Owen Oliver at the 30 on first down throws. This was almost picked off by Anthony Robinson. Again, he had a beat on it.
Yeah, bad decision by Oliver. That's something he didn't want to let go. By the time he let that thing go, Anthony Robinson broke on the ball, could have picked that thing. It might have hit him in the hands. Let's see if it. Oh, no, just a little up and out.
A little up, yeah.
Yeah, a little up and out. But if that ball would have been on target, Anthony Robinson would have picked that thing off. Terrebonne's lucky that thing was up and out.
2nd and 10. With one protector, 3 wideouts to the top of the screen. He'll hand it off right up the middle. And Johnson fighting near the 35-yard line. That'll bring up 3rd down. Now for Terrebonne, 3rd. Got 5 to go. Got to get to the 40-yard line for a first down.
Well, you know, Jace Johnson runs well. I like this kid. I like the way he kind of picks his way around, and when he makes his one cut and gets vertical, he's explosive.
Let's see if they go to him. Oh, they're chasing him. Somebody got through real quick. Flags down. They're blowing the play dead. Thought somebody may have moved.
Well, we hadn't had a flag in what? About 10 minutes? So I was hoping you could get away through the third quarter.
Unofficially, we had in the first half Destrehan with 8 penalties and Terrebonne with 6. That's unofficial. And that didn't count the unsportsmanlike offsets.
Well, there's a grounding penalty right there. He's in the pocket. He threw the ball away. He was under pressure. Destrehan brought the blitz. When you're blocking with 5 and you bring 6 and you get you back out of the backfield, the 6 are going to win every time. And Oliver saw that. What does he do? He just throws it away while he's in the pocket. Good call by the officials. There's your grounding call. There is a loss of down. It's 4th down. They're going to back it up, and now Terrebonne's got a punt.
They do that with 4:47 to play third quarter. Punting from high snap, big rush, and he shanked it off the right side of his foot, just trying to move to the right so that it would not get blocked with a potential blocker coming in from the left side. And it goes out of bounds at the 31-yard line of the Terrebonne Tigers. So Destrehan will have great field position to start this drive with 4:47 to play third quarter.
Again, shooting yourself in the foot. Grounding penalty, bad snap on a special team play, putting Destrehan in business well inside Terrebonne territory.
Well, Shane Lee and Anthony Robinson is in the backfield. Robinson going in motion to the right side, takes the screen pass, and it's Robinson trying to, with a nice cutback, does find a little bit of running room. Gets a block. He's got room. He's going to try to make it, almost gets to the end zone. Yes, they're going to say he did hit the pylon and goes in. Touchdown. What a move by Anthony Robinson. My goodness, it'll be a 31-yard touchdown. Watch it.
Well, get the ball in the hands of your athletes. Anthony Robinson, he's got a lot of room out there all of a sudden. Nice job by Terrebonne conversion. But watch this. I'll just let the video talk. Looks like he got the ball right inside the pylon as his body hit the pylon. I think that speaks for itself, Ken, how athletic Anthony Robinson is.
Extra point kicked up and through. It is good, 28-0. Destrehan, remember, his body can be up in the air, and he can still, with that upper body, reach over and touch that pylon with the body or with the football, and that's what he did, because I thought for a moment and held up on the call till the official signaled it. Was he in? Was he out? And the official was right there with a good eye on it. He was in. Touchdown, 28-0. And wow, what a play by Anthony Robinson. That is just an amazing. Again, we've got two LSU commits and an Ole Miss commit playing in this game, and that's the Ole Miss commit right there. And what a job!
Right. Well, that's also where you see that
I'm going to show you some of the outstanding players, and you got them right there, top Louisiana recruits.
Right, there's a good look at Cobbins and Billiot right there, 7 and 8. There's a good look at the top 10 Louisiana recruits, and we're seeing two of them here tonight.
Billiot can also punt. Cobbins, an edge rusher. They wanted to move him a little bit inside and have him play some linebacker, not always having to handle that edge, but wow, he is just so good. Celestine again, I believe, closest to, nope, that's going to be, I believe that's McKay. Let me check.
That is McKay.
So Quincy McKay and Celestine normally handling the business, the kickoff returns.
There's another example of Terrebonne shooting themselves in the foot, right? So you have a bad snap on a punt, correct? And then you come up with a grounding penalty, which backs it up even further. Give Destrehan here's another penalty. Now we've got another personal foul against Destrehan.
Yeah, but you're right. You look at it and you go with the intentional grounding penalty, the bad snap on the punt, but you couldn't back them up to midfield on that and flip the field, so to speak. So you give them great field position at your own 31-yard line, and again, Destrehan takes the opportunity and just gets an athlete and lets that athlete do what he does best.
Exactly. So, that's kind of been the story for Terrebonne tonight. Good football team, just can't get it going, and when they do get it going, like I said, they're creating their own problems. Let's see if they can do something here on this drive.
Oliver with Johnson to his right. We'll give to Johnson, and he is smothered as he takes the handoff for a loss. Tackled in the backfield at the 40-yard line.
He was tackled in the backfield by Jarian McCall. Problem with the Terrebonne offensive line is they don't pick up blitzes real well. That was a run blitz where every gap was filled. They brought their two stand-up linebackers, Gilbert and Adams. They filled the two inside gaps, slanted to the rest of the defensive line. Everything's covered up on a run blitz. Terrebonne doesn't pick it up.
Oliver looking over, getting signals from the sideline. Wildcats looking like they're going to come again, and Oliver tries the middle, and the Wildcats shut it down really quickly, and that is Gideon Bowman.
Bowman makes the tackle, but he was flushed out of there by Cobbins, who blitzed from his outside linebacker position, coming underneath the end into the B gap. Nobody touches him, flushes Oliver out of there, and Bowman cleans him up.
Kolaj Cobbins, the LSU commit, we talked about this in the first game against East Ascension. He's got that quick first step. And that's what he's able to do. And sometimes it'll just confuse offensive linemen because he'll look like he's coming from one way, but that first and second step, he can go the other way real quick.
It's called being an athlete, right?
Well, yeah.
He's an athlete, a 6'2", 210-pound athlete. Here comes a blitz again.
Let's see if the offensive line can pick it up. Nope. They're only going to rush 4. Quick throw. Left side, Billiot. Billiot trying to make something happen in the space, and he goes down.
And guess who's there making the tackle? Kalaj Cobbins. He shows blitz, backs out, gets to his drop in his zone coverage, makes a nice play.
Billiot, who's also an LSU commit, the Terrebonne wideout, he has really been taken out of this game for the most part. We haven't seen very much out of him. He's been well covered, and Terrebonne hasn't found a way to get the ball to him and just let him make some type of a play in space. And now here they are on 4th down. And 4th and 7, the Terrebonne Tigers are going to have to punt this one away. Well, Billiot is blocked. Billiot's got it, and he's going to run. He's going to have the opportunity to make something happen in space right now. He's close to the first down. He's got the first down on the other side of the field and then knocked out of bounds. So Terrebonne stays alive and gets a little bit of a boost offensively as Billiot picks up a punt that was blocked, and he runs it around the left side all the way for a first down.
Jace Thomas comes off the edge. It was bound to happen sooner or later where he was going to get to the ball. He's been close all night. He gets that one, also hits the foot, but he got the ball also. But look at the athleticism of what takes place with Kylan Billiot. He picks that up, and he rushes and gets the first down.
You know, he had a long way to go to get those, about 11 or so yards, if I can remember correctly. And my goodness, he made it happen, and Terrebonne stayed alive. So on first down, they try a little run just to get a few, and they do.
Well, if they're going to get anywhere back into this game, they're going to have to score on this drive.
Now they got 6 on that one. That puts them at the 37-yard line, 36-yard line. Second down, 4. Man in motion. There's your little jet sweep. Let's see if it can do something, and it can't because the defense is there to shut it down quickly. Tigers had Tydrick. Checking. Is that Tydrick Stewart running?
I thought that was Billiot that was coming across in.
Maybe it's that. Yeah.
It was Billiot coming across in motion on the jet sweep, and they toss it to him, so that's considered a completed pass, right? Because the ball is tossed forward.
Yeah. Again, folks, we apologize. Sometimes these numbers are a little hard to see, even trying to get the binoculars on it through the glass. And
Jaron McCall there to make that play. He's having a nice night in that defensive front. A lot of penetration up front. He, from his nose guard position, comes right through the A-gap to his right and makes a very nice play in the backfield.
And I think the key word was penetration as the clock runs down in the third quarter, and Destrehan leading 28-0 is going to have a 4-touchdown lead as we start the fourth quarter in just a moment. I want to thank again our third quarter sponsor, Thibodaux Regional, offering comprehensive programs down in Thibodaux and the surrounding Bayou region area. They've got a team of certified athletic trainers, fellowship-trained sports medicine physicians, and orthopedic sports medicine-trained physical therapists to effectively manage injuries and safely return athletes to the game they love. Visit Thibodaux.com to learn more. That's Thibodaux.com to learn more about Thibodaux Regional. And I can tell you, when you've got people that have been there and worked there for a long time, you know it's good leadership from the top, and that starts with CEO Greg Stock, and it goes all the way down not only to the doctors and the medical guys, but also to the general staff. I'm sorry, folks. Somebody was handing me something. We're doing it all tonight. We're spotting, we're keeping stats, and just sometimes People just, you don't even want to know. So anyway, we're set to go. Okay. We start the fourth quarter. It's 4th down, 5 at the 37-yard line of Destrehan. A must pick up for the Terrebonne Tigers. Quick slant in and a misfire, and they're going to turn it over on downs. Intended for Celestine, and it's going to be a turnover on downs and a big stop for Destrehan.
Well, Destrehan's showing blitz, right? And they kind of, I guess, faked Oliver out. But Oliver was intending the blitz to come because it was being shown, so he got the ball out of there really quick, which is fine. Getting the ball out of there quick is fine, but you got to be on target. Getting underneath the slant route was the linebacker who came out of the blitz. That kind of worked well for Destrehan. Show it, get out of there real quick, force Oliver's hand. The result is first down Destrehan, turnover on downs.
Robinson and Lee are the backs, and this is right off the fingertips of Jabari Mack.
Oh, Jabari Mack needed to catch that. The ball bounced up in the air, almost had a tip drill for Kayvon Gardner, who would have picked that thing off and walked to the end zone for Terrebonne.
That was number 4 at the top of your screen. Folks, watch it. That it would have been what the Tigers needed at this time. And yeah, Kayvon.
Well, first of all, you got to catch the ball as a receiver, right? I mean, you can't just take off. I think we're going to have another penalty here, and we've got an illegal procedure on Jace Mitchell.
Wow.
Lost count, Ken. Lost count on the flags. I said, those
lost count in the first half.
Yeah, those guys are going to have to ice down tonight after the ball game.
There you go. Jace Mitchell, the right tackle. Again, a good offensive line here for this Destrehan Wildcat team. Andrew Dragnell at left tackle. Left tackle. Then left guard is Yornell Smith. Darren Fenderson at center. Gabe Schreiber. Right guard, Jace Mitchell, right tackle. They're going to run that way over the right guard, right tackle slot and get a few. Listen, no reason to put the ball in the air unless you absolutely have to right now for Destrehan. You're just burning clock. You got 11 and a half minutes to burn, and you got a 4-touchdown lead against a very good football team. This Terrebonne team lost their opener and came back strong to win their next 5. Going into week number 7 here. And they're going to be a force to be reckoned with throughout the rest of this season. Good move. And again, that is Johnny. Let's see. Let me make sure that's Jabari Mack.
Yeah, Jabari Mack turns on the Jets after he gets the ball. Watch Fields gets flushed here. Nice rush by Terrebonne. I think Terrebonne's defensive line has done a nice job for the most part all night, but when you got Fields making plays like this, escaping the rush and getting it to wide open receivers who have the Jets like Jabari Mack, it always turns out positive for Destrehan.
41-yard gain by Jabari Mack makes it 1st and 10. Right at the 24. They got it marked at about the 20, just inside the 25. Just as I was saying, they didn't have to throw the football. They showed that, yeah, guess what? Again, 2nd down and 5. Moving in pretty big chunks. From the 24 down to the 19-yard line. Just a simple give. Straight up the middle, nothing fancy. On the run, Shane Ward.
Yeah, we said Shane Ward's a nice little compliment to Shane Lee, right? You got 2 Shanes, one's a Ward, one's a Lee, one's a junior, one's a senior. All right, 2 different type of guys, 2 different types of runners. Shane Lee's that pounding, guy that loves to take it to the defensive man. Shane Ward's a little bit of a scat back. He's quick in the hole, also really good out on the perimeter.
This time the fake to Ward. And a toss into the end zone. Flags go down. Is it picked off? Did he hold it? He did. Incomplete.
Well, let's see what we've got here. Nice rush again by the Terrebonne defensive line. It flushes Fields. Ball looks like it's picked off.
I thought it was by Braylon Brown.
And then there's a flag during the pass. See if we can get a call here.
Did not get a call on the pass by the official, and we didn't see the incomplete.
Didn't see a call, didn't see anything. Look, did they pick it up and wave it off?
The penalty had to be
before the no explanation. Penalty had to be before the interception.
Had to be.
Maybe interference. That's the only thing I can think it would have been for Destrehan to retain possession there.
We didn't get the call, so here's there it is, and Shane Ward will take it into the end zone. Touchdown.
Well, Shane Ward gets into his end zone. He gets his due tonight, right? Watch him pop over the right-hand side. Great blocking by the offensive line of Destrehan this time. Down, kick out. Little pin and pull. You got to kick out. You got to seal. You got to down block. That'll take care of a big guy. All you got to do is wall him off. And what do we have? Shane Ward in the end zone on the counter play.
Shane Ward makes it 34-0. And Ryan Lacey will be in to attempt the point after. Let's see.
Another flag, delay of game on Terrebonne. They had 12 people on the field. So they'll take it on the kickoff most likely.
Shane Lee trotted onto the field for the extra point just to be a blocker and ended up trotting back off. Thought for a moment that the big running back may have felt a cramp or something, but he's walking on the sideline. He's okay. There's the point after. Up in the air. Good. 35-0. Destrehan with 8:46 to play.
Well, again, story is Terrebonne shoots himself in the foot, creates an opportunity for Destrehan. Destrehan takes advantage of that opportunity, puts a nice little drive together. They have an interference penalty. It looked like it took away an interception, and Destrehan puts it in the end zone to go up 35-0.
Yeah, they had turned it over on downs to begin with, and then looks like they were going to get it back on the interception, and for some reason it wasn't.
Apparently it was, the only thing I can think of without seeing the call or getting some sort of explanation by the official is it had to be interference prior to the interception. The only way Destrehan would have retained possession of the ball. So there's your delay of game penalty, which 12 people on the field. It's going to move the ball from the 40 up to the 45 for the kickoff for Destrehan.
McKay and Celestine deep. If you look at this from a Destrehan standpoint, is this a little flexing of the muscles by Destrehan and saying, we're up against a good team and we're pretty doggone good?
Well, we've got two good football teams here tonight. I think the issue,
team doing this.
Right, the issue is that Destrehan still is they're taking advantages of everything that's being given to them, right? And they're very capable athletically to put a lot of points on the board. So if you're going to give me great possessions, you're going to give me balls on turnovers, you're going to let me block punts, all of this type of stuff, well, we're going to stick it to you, and that's what they're doing. By 35 points, Terrebonne just can't get the engine started. It's like they've got their engine going, and they can't get it out of second gear all night long. That's the way it's been for Terrebonne. They can't get their athletes to be able to, make their mark in this football game.
Well, Bill Yacht is up at the top of your screen. Two wideouts to each side. They've got to throw the ball now and find these athletes. It's going to be up to the sophomore quarterback, Owen Oliver. And the little lefty will throw over the middle. And this one is a diving pick. Will it hold? If so, that's Jays Thomas.
Chase Thomas makes a nice pick right there again, giving the ball up on a turnover. Ball floats over the head of the intended receiver. The intended receiver was number 3, Quince Mackey again. Ball just floated again. The left-hander kind of drops his elbow and throws it in from center field. Ball's picked off, and Destrehan's taking over again in great field position.
First down interception with 8:38 to play, and Destrehan has it at the 44-yard line.
Got a new quarterback in. Looks like Braden Finnerty.
Braden Finnerty is the backup. And Coach Marcus Scott giving him just a little bit of an opportunity to get some playing time. He has seen action in a number of games. He's thrown and completed 4 of 8 passes for only 11 yards. He's a 6-foot, 185-pound senior.
Got a new running back in Jaden Bailey. Going to see a new set of jerseys in there for Destrehan. A couple of different guys getting in and out, trying to get some chance to get some reps.
So Jaden Bailey has a touchdown on the season. Rushed it 12 times for 92 yards. Fake to him. And a keeper by the quarterback, Finnerty. So if you're Terrebonne and you're in year 2 of your program for Coach Tyler Lewis, you know you've had a great season up to this point. You lost the opener. You've come back to win 5 in a row. What do you talk about in this game, and what do you learn from this game?
Well, number one is you're going to have to flush it real quick because you're facing East St. John next week. Right, you got to have them. You got to have the memory of a goldfish. So you're going to walk in. You're going to say, "Hey, we've got to get rid of this real quick. Let's look at that film. Let's correct our errors, and let's get ready for East St. John next week because we're still in this race. We're also still in a playoff contention,
that's
and
thing.
Everybody's goal is to get into the playoffs. Their goals are still attainable. That's what he talks to his kids about.
And Finnerty's toss is complete. And it's going to Bailey. Bailey on the run to the right side. Pushed out of bounds inside the 15-yard line.
There's that screen game again, right? We've seen a couple of screens tonight out of Destrehan. I think they've done a great job tonight operating their screen game. They fake the jet sweep, and then they drop it down to Bailey, who slides right in behind 3 offensive linemen. They pick off the linebacker, and if you can get to the linebacker on the screens, you're going to have a lot of room to run, especially if you catch a defense in man coverage.
And look, the Terrebonne fans who are watching this stream and this broadcast tonight, this is a better Terrebonne team than what the score indicates.
Oh, no doubt.
What you're seeing on the field.
No doubt. That's a good football team. Big athletic guys, very well coached from the standpoint, impressed with their defensive line, like right there.
And off to Jaden Bailey. Now, you've coached long enough, Wade. What's the possibility that, again, you're coming off a year where your coach took over and last year was, let's rebuild it, let's figure out what to do. This year you get out the gate, you lose the first game, you win 5 in a row, and you're coming into probably what for a lot of these kids on this Terrebonne team was one of the biggest matchups they ever had to face. You've had teams that maybe, I'm not quite sure the term anymore, but maybe that you get so hyped up for the game that you get out there and maybe you just make some of the mistakes they made and don't play the way they can play?
Well, you're dealing with 15, 16, 17, in some cases 18-year-old kids, right? They're going to make these type of decisions. Oh, you better pick that up.
Yeah, that was they blew it dead forward. That's right. Philip.
Well, the problem is if it was backwards. We got a flag on a play, imagine that. But if that ball was backwards right there, that could have been considered a fumble, lateral, and picked up by Terrebonne and gone distance. We've got a penalty against Destrehan.
And get back now just to what we're talking about in the fact that sometimes a team can maybe not play their best because
they wave it off.
They wave it off.
Wow, that's huge. Look, you're dealing with kids. You just don't. It's not an exact science, right?
Yes.
Okay, and hyped up, not hyped up, don't have their heads in the game. I don't know. They didn't get enough spaghetti in their pregame meal. Who knows? It could be 1,000 different things that a coach is trying to get a team to be able to operate within the boundaries. They had some big plays tonight that didn't go their way. Like I said, they got shot in the foot or they shot themselves in the foot, and it just happened to run it into a real good Destrehan team that knows how to take advantage of those possibilities.
And to drop one into the corner, and it's incomplete. Good coverage by the Tigers on that. And I believe that was intended for somebody who just came off the bench for the – that might have been a young a junior receiver. Doesn't see much playing time, and that's Dabney Dakwan. I'm sorry, Dugan Dabney is the correct pronunciation of the name.
On the play there was Braylon Brown, made a nice play right there, getting his hands in between the receiver's hands and raking that ball out. Seeing a lot of different jerseys also in there for Terrebonne, getting some reps.
Well, if you see one of the players, timeout called by Destrehan because, and I believe that was Dugan Dabney who was trying to get off the field. He was the one they tried to toss one in, give him maybe a little touchdown catch and a highlight, and couldn't get it to him on the last play. And evidently he was supposed to come out and didn't, and he was trying to get off the field early, and timeout called, and the end result was no penalty.
Well, that's nice they picked the flag up.
Let me see if I can confuse you a little bit more with that explanation.
Right. Well, it's nice they picked the flag up with taking it off and moving on with the game, right? But what was a little bit more kind of they had an issue with the number of people on the field. They didn't have the right personnel, so they had to call timeout for this field goal to be able to get the right personnel on and take care of their business that way, to be able to make sure you got the right 11 for the field goal, and now they're going to line it up and attempt this kick with Ryan Lacey.
Ryan Lacey has been a solid place kicker, especially from the 30-yard line in. Now the referee is setting up in his correct position. So they put this one down at the 18-yard line, a 28-yard field goal, and it is good by Ryan Lacey. 38-0, Destrehan. But I think this does, despite the penalties by both teams in the first half of this game. I mean, on Destrehan's first drive, they had 4 in a row. 4 major penalties in a row. Boom,
and I think on the evening they've had at least 5, I counted, I could be off by 1 or 2, personal fouls or unsportsmanlike conduct penalties, right?
Yes. Now, despite all of that, this has got to be a little bit of muscle flexing. And I'm not saying they're saying, look at us, we're good. They're just playing. They're finding ways. I think it's impressive that they're finding ways to score, finding ways to stop Terrebonne. And despite, just, I guess you want to call it sloppy play with the penalties by both teams, still you look at the scoreboard and there's Destrehan.
Well, what it is, good football teams know how to take advantage of gifts that are given to them, right? Turnovers. Untimely penalties by Terrebonne, block punts. I mean, we can keep going on and on and on, right? I mean, the Terrebonne has gifted Destrehan a good football team, a lot of good field position, opportunities. Good football teams know how to take advantage of those opportunities and score points, and that's the reason why Destrehan is one of the best football teams in the state of Louisiana.
So the left-footed kicker, Ryan Lacey, sends this one deep, and the Terrebonne Tigers will have 6 minutes and 10 seconds to play with here in this fourth quarter, trailing 38-0.
I mean, I equate it to this in the game of golf, Ken. You can get this. Every time you're hitting the ball inside, say, 5 or 6 feet of the hole from 180 yards out or 170 yards out, you're one heck of a golfer. You're going to drain a bunch of those punts. You're going to get a lot of birdies, right?
Yes.
Well, tonight, Destrehan has gotten a lot of birdies. They know how to take advantage of those opportunities. That's the mark of a good football team.
Johnson is back there with Oliver. Oliver is going to throw, and nice catch with a man all over his back at the 45-yard line. See where they mark it. And that's McKay.
Yeah, McKay goes up and gets that ball. They've got a nice set of receivers. Not just, I know we've harped on Billiot a lot tonight.
He's big. He's 6'2". Watch him.
Right, but McKay's a nice receiver. So is Celestine. These guys can catch the football.
And again, we just haven't seen Billiot do a whole lot, making sure that he's pretty well covered everywhere he goes. They're going to throw it out. That's Celestine on the catch, and Celestine is inside the 45.
A lot of new jerseys in there for the Wildcats. That was Damari Morris making a play right there, number 29.
Terrebonne's next game, as we said, is going to be East St. John. So like you talked about, Wade, they're going to have to forget this one, put this one behind them, try to do something positive in these last few minutes, and then see if they can just make up the difference. Long toss, bobble, and he can't pull it in. It was an underthrown pass, and just a great try, a great attempt on that by Billiot.
Well, Billiot also left soon, and the Destrehan coaches are going absolutely berserk down on the sidelines. There was no call, no flag right there. He left too soon.
He was about 3 yards downfield when the ball.
And the guy, the official down on the boundary in Destrehan just kind of looked the other way. I don't know if he's ready to go home or if he's hungry or what the deal is, but that should have been the flag.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to say, I'm not trying to harp on officials or anything, but that should have been thrown.
Second down at 10. Celestine with the catch. And Celestine pushed back. He'll mark his progress up to the 40-yard line.
Yeah, it's nice to see a lot of new jerseys for Destrehan getting in there. They're getting a chance to play, a JV game here again this week. I'm sure they had a JV game yesterday.
They did.
Now they're getting a chance to play some of their JV guys here in the varsity game and get some varsity reps.
Well, I thought they were going to give it to him up to the 40, but they do mark it back to the 43. So it'll be third down and 9. Destrehan will play out of district, and he does get rid of the ball just in time. Fumbled it, but out of bounds on the far side. That was Johnson, I believe. Yes, out of the backfield. Talking about next week again. So we said Terrebonne will be going to East St. John, whereas Destrehan will be going to Sulphur.
Yeah,
Sulphur's coming here.
Yeah, Sulphur's coming here. They have their non-district. Destrehan is their non-district bye week in week 8 for 7-5A. So Sulphur's going to make that trip all the way down I-10, all the way over here to Destrehan.
So this starts actually a 3-game homestand to close the season, 7, 8, 9 for the Destrehan Wildcats.
It's always nice when you can have your last couple of games of the season at home, right? Especially when you're in that district championship hunt and that playoff bracket hunt. They're trying to get one of those buys in the top part of the bracket. There'll be 24 teams in that Division I bracket for non-select.
Well, the big one, too, is the end of the year, East St. John coming here. Remember, Destrehan had to beat them twice last year.
Brandon Brown's got his kids playing good this year. Those guys are really getting after it.
Good completion. Over to the right side.
Everybody's wondering why it's a Thursday night game and not a Friday night game here in St. Charles Parish. If I'm not mistaken, right across the river, Hahnville is playing a Thursday night game too. A lot of it has to do with the officiating numbers in the officiating organizations here in Southeast Louisiana, like the New Orleans Officials Association. You can get a full crew on a Thursday night because you have less games going on.
And they have a full crew tonight, correct?
6 on the field, right. So 6 is considered a full crew rather than what they've been going with for most Friday night games around the city, a 5-man crew, because simply the number of officials are not there. You can see a sack right there. Nice tackle on the sack by Samaj Walker, a junior linebacker, getting a little playing time. He can add himself a number to his stats. Always good to see.
And Samaj Walker's, he's been in on some action. 3rd down. Oliver throws complete. This is Johnson out of the backfield. And it's going to be very close. I think he's got the 1st down. Yeah, let's see. They're going to stop the clock? Yes, they will. They'll move the chains. 1st down, Terrebonne. They're getting back to that Destrehan closer with East St. John. Of course, the Destrehan Wildcats 14-0 to win the state championship undefeated last year.
I think we did that football game, didn't we? Did we do that football game last year?
If we did. But in the playoffs, it took a touchdown and an extra point to beat 21-20 Destrehan over East St. John. So you know there's going to be a battle royal when they come in. They're going to go for it all into the end zone right corner, overthrown by just a little bit.
Braylon Cryer, safety, gets across the top of that wheel route. Nicely done. Cuts off the receiver, stacks the receiver's route, stacks his hips. The ball's overthrown, but in perfect position to make a play was Braylon Cryer.
Look, Quincy McKay was the intended receiver. He's 6'2", Cryer is 5'9". So, yeah, that's good defense when you're given that type of height away. Quick pass, and it's caught. Terrebonne doing a nice drive as the clock ticks down by the 1-minute mark. They want to get some points on the board, and they're right there at the 15-yard line facing 3rd down. Timeout called with 1:01 to go.
Yeah, they don't want to walk out of here with a goose egg on the board. They want to put something on the board. That's something you can build off of in the last minute of the football game. If you can stick the ball in, you can go back to that film, you can finish on a good note, and you can end up giving positive reinforcement to that football team moving into East St. John.
I want to thank our 4th quarter sponsor, Lamarck Ford. The Lamarck Pre-Owned has a huge selection of pre-owned vehicles, all makes and models. We even have great deals for under $12K. As Ronnie says, must be a reason. Whether it's Ronnie Sr. or Ronnie Jr., there must be a reason. Visit Lamarck Ford. They treat you right. They do it right. They're from the parish, but they take care of everybody, whether you're in the parish or not.
No, you're from the parish.
I am. Right by the Lamarcks. They were on Bealey Street. I grew up on Acock Street, right there in Arabi. All right, 3rd down. Let's see if Oliver can direct this scoring drive. And he is just going to lob one-on-one. Celestine battling, and he was covered by Ty Terrell.
Ty Terrell's had a nice game. He's done a nice job on Celestine tonight, as well as all the wide receivers lining up out there. He seems to be in position. He does a nice job making sure that nobody gets on top of him. Gets his cushion broken. He makes sure that he catches up. He's a fine-looking defensive back also.
And stay tuned for Crescent City Sports next week. Wade and Lenny will be somewhere broadcasting a game. I think I know where, but we're not sure yet. So
we'll be somewhere.
Johnson out of the backfield. He's got the 1st down and did not get out of bounds. So the clock will stop while they move the chain.
Yeah, big game next week at East St. John with Terrebonne. You know, they're going to have to flush this real quick tonight. They're going to have to find some positive reinforcements. As I said, they're going to have to correct some mistakes, and they got to go back to work. And I'm sure that the fine staff that they have, led by Tyler Lewis, will make sure that they do that and get his kids' mind right to get ready to go against a real good East St. John football team next week.
Look, Terrebonne started this season, and they lost that first game to John F. Kennedy 20-7. And you know what? Right after that, you heard Coach Lewis say, look, the penalties, just the mistakes. They started doing things the Terrebonne perfect way. They come back, they win 5 in a row. All right, They made mistakes tonight. They could not find ways to get it in. But right, if they blow this off and they go back to playing Terrebonne Tiger football, let's put it this way. This might be a better description. If East St. John watches this game and they think they've got an easy game next week, I think they're going to be in for a surprise.
Well, Brandon Brown will have his kids ready to go.
He will.
No doubt about that.
Yeah,
so.
no, I realize that, but it's just a way of describing the situation here. All right, here's a hard throw into the end zone, off the fingertips, incomplete. Wow, that was so close.
I think that ball was a little bit deflected, too, and got it just tipped high enough where it went off the fingertips of the intended receiver. They have enough time to take a couple more shots.
Yeah, you got 41 seconds, so you can take these shots and try to get on the board for Coach Marcus Scott, who got his 100th victory last week in that Central LaForce win. It's a special one tonight, not because of the victory, but because he got to play a few extra people. There's a little toss. Billiot with the reception, and he'll make the move and get into the end zone. Touchdown. And that's Kylan Billiot for the score. And yes, he is the LSU commit. They've really had him boxed in tonight, well covered. He finally gets open.
Well, it's Ty Terrell missed the tackle. I was just singing his praises, but now he's going to look back on film and see that happen, and he's going to say, oh. Look, he had a great football game, misses one tackle. He allows Terrebonne to get on the board right there, but don't let that one play describe the whole night by Ty Terrell. He's done a nice job on those Terrebonne receivers.
Yeah, he really did. Ryan Abity in to attempt the point after, and he kicks it up and good. 38-7. Destrehan with 34 seconds to play. Well, wait, I'm not sure which game you guys are going to do next week, but I'll tell you what, it wouldn't be a bad one if you were doing Terrebonne and East St. John.
Yeah, it's always
which one you'll get.
All right, it's always good to see Brandon Brown and his crew, right? Those guys do such a great job coaching over there at East St. John, getting their kids up to, especially for big games, right? It just seems like East St. John always rises to the occasion.
Yeah.
And that has to do with the fine coaching staff that Brandon Brown has, and those guys do great jobs. Look, good football in District 7 5A, right? From top to bottom. These guys all, even the teams that are down at the bottom of the district, they're well coached, and they always play hard each week.
Want to congratulate Destrehan on some streaks because they keep 3 big streaks alive. Overall, they had 20 straight wins. They last lost to Zachary in 2021, so this will be their 21st straight win overall. Their 25th straight district win. Their last loss was to East St. John in 2019. Brendan Brown's going to remind his East St. John team of that before they play next week. And then the regular season, 29 straight wins. Last loss, St. Paul's in 2020. 29 straight regular season wins, with 30 now after tonight, 25 after tonight, straight district wins, and this is just going to be the 21st win in a row for the Destrehan Wildcats. 14-0 last year as state champions, beating Ruston in the state championship game last year after that beautiful, perfect 14-0 season. And they've added a few more. So I wanted to make sure we got their streaks in, let you know that. It's pretty impressive, the job that Coach Coach Marcus Scott has done here with the Destrehan Wildcats.
I guarantee you this, knowing Marcus, right, he doesn't even know about those streaks. And because he's going back to work tomorrow morning, getting ready for Sulphur Tornadoes, right, as they're coming into town next week. He's a guy that is if you would have sat there and told him all these streaks and so on and so forth, he would have kind of given you that look like, hey, that's great.
Hey, look, for the last in the last 10 seasons, this Destrehan team has been to the semifinals 8 times, the finals twice. Of course, won it last time. They have 6 state championships overall in this program, including back-to-back in 2006, 2007. So it's been pretty impressive, and it just continues to move as these Destrehan Wildcats undefeated on this season, and that's pretty doggone impressive as you look at it. So Destrehan now 7-0, and the Terrebonne Tigers fall to 5-2.
Well, 2 good football teams here tonight. Things just didn't go Terrebonne's way. Like I said, the key phrase, I've used it over and over again tonight, is they have shot themselves in the foot too many times and gave up too many opportunities to a real good football team. You can't do that to Destrehan and expect them not to score. They're going to score every time because that's the mark of a good football team. But that, like I said, they're going to have to flush this real quick, get ready for a really good East St. John team. They're still in the playoff picture. They're still in the district race. Destrehan, of course, getting ready for their non-district week with Sulphur, who's a good football team coming to town. They're going to have to go back to work on Monday and get prepared for a non-district game.
That's going to wrap it up from here at Wildcat Stadium in Destrehan, Louisiana. I want to thank you for joining us tonight. Crescent City Sports will have more high school football action for you next week. Visit CrescentCitySports.com to find out our schedule for Wade and Lenny and where we'll be broadcasting next week. For Wade Kaiser and our entire Crescent City Sports production team, I'm Ken Berthelot saying so long from Destrehan. Once again, our final score tonight, Destrehan 38 and Terrebonne 7. Good night, everybody.